Hello everyone. Hello. How's it going? It's a Sunday stream. It is a Sunday stream. We're gonna do some billiards practice to start. And then we're gonna do medals, we're gonna do tanks, we're gonna go for it. That's the plan. I've made a comparison for golds now. So we have all 4 medals. Hey Saweedu, hope you're doing well. I did see the huge bronze PB. GG on that. I will verify it at some point, no doubt. So yeah, I was busy yesterday, so I couldn't stream. I'm going to do a few hours today because I need to get more done with the challenge for the GDQ push. So we're going to do Billiards Platinum times 10. This is not an actual category, I don't think it should be, but it's a good way of me practicing. So I'm going to get the platinum score 10 times, and then we're going to do some actual runs of medals. Probably plats, maybe golds. Now I've learned a really good shooting range strat. It's very precise, but it is possible for me to do one of the fast target cycles. I can play the entirety of shooting range on the fast route that is normally done in all games, NG and NG+, but with only one wave of the targets being different to the fast cycle, which is wave 3, because it's easier to score points there. But it's very tricky. I did do it first try, and I've only done one attempt at it, and it was a pretty good attempt, so I'll probably do some practice before that. But it's a tricky one, but it should make golds interesting, and it should make my sub 36 push a little bit easier when we get to that. But that at the moment, that's not the focus. I also have, if I'm looking up there, I've got the Olympics on in the background. There's curling going on at the minute, which is the only thing we're any good at. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to make the most of that while I'm actually home, because I I won't be able to watch that at work anymore because I've moved jobs. You, P, how's it going? Okay, so we're just going to do runs. We're just going to chill out to start off with. It's only Billiards Platinum. It's only practice. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Yeah, this is Billiards Platinum times 10. This is the only goal of this is just to practice billiards. Practicing channel visible, it's all good. That's intentional. It's because I'll forget to turn it off in a minute. I guess what I could do is I could turn it on at the moment, and then I'll just turn it off when we actually do possible recorded runs. So yeah, thank you for pointing out though. Thank you for the good luck as well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so the goal of this is because in normal resets, there's not really an incentive for me to optimize how fast I'm resetting. Whereas in this, there kind of is an active reason for me to do that. That's a 4. I really don't love where the 2 is here. I'm just going to jump this off, I think. And then 2, spin control on the 5, spin control on the 6, and then hope the 7. I hope the 9 is in a good spot. I'll say it again when you're switching. Alright, sounds good. Yeah, actually, you know what? That, yeah, these stop shots will pretty much do it. Yeah, that's a great start. So remember, we're aiming for a 4-minute billiards split. So ideally, I want to be finishing these. Nice 11-minute time save. I want to be finishing these ideally within 4 minutes. But obviously, there's a little bit of a cutscene normally. So I'd say I'm aiming for sub 39 in this, really. That's the goal. Now, does that clip the 3? I don't know. Yes. And it goes in. Yeah, unfortunate. That's fine. So yeah, sub 39 would be ideal in this, I think, because then that accounts for cutscenes a little bit. That's another 4, potentially a 5. Do I jump off the 7? I think I do. Yeah. Nice. That'll do. Don't really care about speed here. In terms of the actual games, as long as we get through, then we get through. Marathon runs, just, it does not matter at all how fast or slow the actual game is. Okay, I'm actually going to go really high here so that I can just do topspin and make sure it doesn't go in. the cue ball, because the cue ball angle there, if I did full power shot, that would definitely have gone in the pocket. Okay, this is another thing I haven't really done recently, like actually lining up shots like that to go in. Really haven't done a lot of that in recent runs. Same with this, like I never do this anymore because there's just no incentive for me to do it. Okay, I think we're good. Yo, Queenie, how's it going? You're never trying to caramelize onions in the oven again. Interesting. Is there a backstory? I'm guessing you have tried to caramelize onions in the oven and it's gone badly. That's the backstory. Okay, this is going better than the other day. I do like how the balls are close together on this break-off. Hey, Crazy Yo, as well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, possibly the 7 goes in here. If I do this, then maybe the 7 goes in? Not quite. Okay. I'm just gonna... Oh, okay. I didn't want to do that at all. Okay. I was trying to wing it there, but it's all good. We did not get anything. Yeah, so as Crazy-O mentions, NSMBDS is now going to be my focus. I haven't mentioned it on stream yet. It's now going to be my focus instead of New Super Mario Bros. Wii for the next month or so. That is because I've bought tickets for UKSG. I am going to do some submissions for UKSG. My plan was to submit New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The problem is, last year that got in by Crazy-O's efforts. And I don't want to attempt that again, really, because the chances of it getting in are very low. So what I'm going to do is okay, 7 might go in and then the 2 rebounds into the other pocket. There you go. That's the kind of thing I need. That is the kind of shot I need. Those are just the types of shots that I haven't really needed to get. Like, they work, but yeah. The 5 ball being close there as well, that's pretty good. I have a foul to spare, I think, but I'm not going to go for it, because both balls are not great here. Nice. And that should be another Billiards Platinum score. Yeah, so I do need to get back onto New Super Mario Bros. DS. Yep, that's fine. I can afford a foul. That is all good. 5 minutes and we're done with 3 games. That is way, way beyond anything else we've had during this grind. Very happy with that. And to be honest, I did save it using that half-calculated double. Like, I'm not going to pretend that wasn't a little bit lucky, but it was also pretty good. Nice! 2 times I've done that now. Okay, cool. You should see the crispy black strings I have right now called onions. Rip my pasta. Oh dear. Listen, it's all practice. Like, you get better, you learn for next time. It's all good. See, cooking pasta, it's just like, and onions, it's just like speedrunning. Surely. Does that go in? Possibly. I think it does. Yeah. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, we saved it. Yes, you are onto Resort now. Yeah, I wasn't able to watch yesterday, but I hope that's going well for you. 4 games in 6 minutes. This is absolutely absurd. And this is going to be a 3 break. This is just unreal. Possible 4, actually. No, not quite. Okay, so this is tough. This is tough. I can't do a lot with that. Yeah, nice. Very lucky. Okay. When will I be running DS again? So, I don't have a fixed schedule anymore, but basically any stream that I would have planned to do New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I will instead now be planning to do... Oh, that's a shame. I tried to just collide the 2 very slightly and then hit the 5. I will now instead be doing New Super Mario Bros. DS. So I might be doing some New Super Mario Bros. DS next week. Like 1 day a week or something, I don't know. But I will get back to it. I do need to do some learning. Right, let's do some spin. No, not quite. Okay. It's been a little while since I've done New Super Mario Bros. DS. I am comfortable with our estimate, though, because it's pretty much going to be quite safe. And I haven't learned how to do Super Manip yet, but once you know how to do it once, it's quite easy, it seems, to just set it up each time, right? Right, I need 2 balls here. Actually, no, I think I needed 3. That was not worth continuing. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Wait, it's not fine. Right, this would be an unreal save, but I think I can do it. Yes! That is just an unbelievable save. So, the reason that worked is because a direct shot onto the 2 ball, I was going to collide with the 5. Or whatever ball there was at the throw, I don't remember. But a shot like that allowed me to sort of go round the ball, hit the cushion, and then it had more of a wide angle to work with. That's just exhibition billiards. That's not anything you would expect to be using in a run, but that's what I need. Like, if I hit exhibition billiard shots in the run, then that's just impressive. This is a bank shot. Hey, Crystal. Thank you for the good luck. I think that works. I do need to be careful the cue ball doesn't go in, though. Yeah, nice, good spin. Just so many good saves in here. At least 2 of these were not going to be plat before I saved it. Sub 10 minutes for 5. That's cutting the amount of time I had in mind by half. That's 20 minutes instead of 40. If I keep that pace. Okay. That is a 3, but a foul as well. This is a tricky one. I think I might try a double jump shot, but with keeping the ball in the... Yes! Wait, no, the cue's going in. Oh, no. Okay, I did it. Wait, no, but the balls were shot off the table, so it doesn't count. If the balls all went in the pocket, then it would. Yeah, that doesn't work. They all need to stay. It needs to be a double, and no balls to go off the table. Yeah, I just forgot how the game works. Right, I think I need all of these in one shot, which is probably not happening. Had trouble setting up correctly on your 3DS XL. That is the same model I have, so hopefully I won't have too many issues. Oops. There we go. Is it because you can't set the time and date as easily as on a DS? Does that make some of the difference? Okay, I'm going to try and not have a foul here, just in case. Like, there's no reason for me to deliberately go for a foul. That is why. That is why. Wow. Okay, double jump shot. Oh, we're so in. We are so in. And where were these when I was doing runs last week? Come on, that's a 66. That is a 66 points. Okay. You know, I might need to improve my score skip save. I might need to get 66s on my score skip save, I'm not gonna lie. I'm tempted. I've already got 1. So I'd only need to get 4 more if I wanted to improve it. Bit more clunky to get through. Yeah. It definitely is useful that it's a thing. I think it's not the end of the world if we don't even do it. Like, there's no reason not to. But even if for some reason it were the case that we weren't able to do it, just get the Toad House. Like, there's still a Toad House there. And even then, in terms of an any percent showcase, you can still very easily get a decent enough time without the shell in DS. All the other New Soup games, you kind of need that broken power-up. But DS, shell just makes you more reliably faster a lot of the time. Like, yeah, you can get, like, small time saves, but it's not exactly like you're saving like 2 minutes in this castle level because you have a shell. Like, that's what Prop does in Wii. That's what Acorn does in U, you know. DS and I guess 2 as well. 2 doesn't even really have a power-up like that. So, DS and 2 don't really have that, which is nice in a way. Okay, this won't work. This does not work. Unless I can hit into the 4-ball. Which, yeah, the double kiss ruins that. That's fine. Okay, nice. 6 balls out of the way. I'm actually going to go the other way to the corner, because then that's going to collide with the 6 ball. And then hopefully we get something from that. There we go. If I did the other way, I'd have just been on a terrible position for the 4 ball. See, this gives me the freedom and the leniency to think about these things. Okay, and now I have a shot to spare, I think, because I got a double. I do. Yeah, and that's just absolutely fine. I think the side is probably easier here. Yeah, all good. Still very much on a good pace here. 63. Just another one. Getting a couple of zeros, that's fine. This should be a 3. Ah, only just clipped it, that's fine. Okay, I have a similar plan here. I'm going to hit the 3 into the corner. I'm hoping it's going to hit the 5, the cue ball. Oh, by the way, I should probably talk about the GDQ runs. So, I don't remember if this was announced since last time I streamed, because this has been something I've known about for a little while. But there is going to be a Wii Series hotfix with 5 runners. Not just Wii Play. I've still not made a no fish command. Terrible streamer. Go submit to no fish. It's on Angus. You should submit to no fish. It's our speedrun marathon. Submissions are open all month. They close on the 1st of March. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm so busy with other things. I have too many hats that I wear. No fish is just another hat on my head. I'm disappointed. Me too. So, Wii Series hotfix is going to be happening on the 19th of February. It is Thursday night going into Friday, and by that I mean it's Friday twilight hours in the UK. But if you're in the US, it may be Thursday late night. There will be 5 runners. Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Music, Wii Fit U, and Wii Sports Resort. If you are not in a good time zone for that, then watch the VOD the day after. That would be cool. I did get invited onto the hotfix, I should say. I was invited to run Wii Play, but I am not waking up at 4 AM to speedrun a 20-minute category. Or to be honest, any category. But Cindy will be running Wii Play, and I'm sure she'll do a great job. she has watched the Billiards tutorial, so she's fully prepared, I'm sure. So it'll be a lot of fun. But you should go watch that. It's going to be our biggest showcase. The only other time we've been on Hotfix is Wii Fit U on a Hotfix, and then Wii Music got into SGDQ last year after being a backup when it was brought onto the actual games list. That's the only time Wii Series has ever been in. So it's genuinely massive for us to have that chance. Thank you for the good luck, Mel. Hope you're doing well. I'd like the 8-ball here. I think I can hit the 8-ball. Yes. Oh, wow. Nice lucky hit there. And the cue ball just slightly getting out of the way as well. That's pretty good. I think the 1 hits the 5 into the pocket here. Yep. Not getting a good position on the 1, though. Very bad position on the 1. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I actually have to bank shot that. Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised that misses. But, yeah, very exciting for Wii Series. It does spur me on to submit my, to bring in my Wii Play Series submissions. Yeah, I was going to say, Wii Play, if someone's charging you 30 quid for Wii Play, then you should never buy a video game, or, to be honest, anything from them ever again. Wii Play is not £30. Wii Play is £1. You are absolutely right. The only time you should be paying any kind of price for Wii Play is if you buy an NTSC USA 1.0 version. I paid like 10 quid for mine, and that included shipping. Like, that is not an expensive game. And the reason for that is because it saves time in the speedrun. That's why you want that version. I don't... Am I behind now? Yeah, I am totally behind. I'm actually 1 behind, even with a triple, which is really funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's 10p trading, exactly. Wii Party is fairly expensive. It's worse in America. It's like $60 in America. It's like a full price game. People love Wii Party there, but no one bought it when it was first out, I guess. I have no idea why it's so expensive. Wii Series is a lot cheaper in Europe. Like, way cheaper. You can probably find Wii Party for a lot cheaper. I think 30 quid is quite excessive for that game. I'd shop around a little bit, if I'm honest. I don't think that's... I've never had to buy Wii Party because I bought them when they were originally out for full price. Or whatever. Maybe they were in a sale, I don't know. But... yeah. Mario and Sonic? Nice. Mario and Sonic's peak, you know this. You know it. Which Mario and Sonics do you own? I guess you'd only do, like, the console ones, right? It does mean you're missing out on Peak. You're missing out on DS if you do that. But it does make sense, unless you do Potato Can. Which is its own thing. Right. I don't have a lot of good options here. I think I have to do this, and then maybe the 4-ball goes in from this too. Okay, not quite. Ooh, this is not good. Okay. I think I do a little bit of topspin. Almost. Almost. You need 2014. I'm always so sad I never got 2014. 2014 Wii U is alright, I would say. Spent a lot of time playing ice hockey, I think. It's not as good as 2010. on DS. And I've never played 2010 on Wii, regrettably. But 2010 DS is good. Hey, Jetlight, thank you for the good luck. The Yoggle, thank you for that. That should work, yeah. Good spin control into the 4. I'm going to end up a little off here, do some power, and then end up on a good spot for the 5, maybe? Yeah, that's good. I'm 1 ahead, so this is fine. 6 ball, I might jump off, if I'm honest. Yeah. Good. And then straight shot on the 7. Easy. Took 8 minutes for that one, that's rough. They're the ones I'm worried about. Like, we end up taking ages on some of these. Like, on average, we don't. I just have to take my average, really, and just run with that. Like, this has massively improved my average for Billiards. For this challenge. I am stuck. I am actually stuck. I never do this shot, and I don't expect this to work. Oh, I hit the ball, and it went in the pocket. That's such a shame. I literally took like 5 minutes to record a clip of me doing that for the Billiards tutorial. 2008, 2012, 2020. I'm going to buy them all for the streams. I mean, you could always sell the 7Cs. That is an option. I mean, yeah, I'm not condoning that. Twitch. It's just that some people might want to do that. Ooh! Oh! That is just lucky. There was no plan in that. Do not get it twisted. That was not skill. At all. That is not skill. Oh, that's a shame. The 7 was in the way. I never played 2020. I never bought 2016. I think I got to the point with 2016 where it's like, can I really justify paying full price for this? Like, I don't get many games, especially at that time when, like, I didn't have my own money. Like, I didn't get too many games. So it's like, I think I had a foul, so this doesn't work. No, it's a platinum. I'm lying. I'm just spreading misinformation. If I get sub 30 here, this is pretty much an average of 3 minutes per platinum, which is very good. Yeah, 2020 did not look like a great game. 2024, I know nothing about. Like, I do think the series had a bit of a decline. It just doesn't look as good. Oh, 2024 doesn't exist. Well, that is why I don't know a lot about that game. That explains a lot. 2012 was so good. See, the winter ones are generally better, but then they stopped the winter ones. They didn't have the license for the winter ones anymore, but they kept the summer one for a couple more Olympics. Obviously now Sonic and the Olympic Games is still a thing. I don't know if those are any good. I think there's one on console. But, yeah. To be honest, knowing Nintendo, I am shocked how it went on for so long. There does seem to be another partnership between Sonic and the Olympics again. So I don't know if that's just for Sonic and the Olympic Games or if they're going to return to doing Mario and Sonic. But I'll be honest, I am a bit skeptical, judging by how the last couple of entries were. Okay, that is a 2. So I need to whack this in, hope something else happens. It does not. I think I need to hit the 2 into the 4 and then the hope the 2 follows into the corner pocket. But the problem with doing that is that I'm probably going to get the cue ball to go in the other corner pocket. Or the middle. Or the middle. I do need to get better at these plant shots. These actual pure plant shots. Ones that you just would not go for in runs, but here it could save a platinum. That would be good for me to get good at, because they're another way of saving a platinum run without, like, they don't save time, but it's definitely like, you got 4 minutes to get out of billiards, what are you doing? That is one of the strats that you will be doing, if it works out. I also have 2012 DS, 3DS even. There is a story mode in that game, which does not seem as long. I think I played it like once or twice. I played a lot more of the original story mode on 2010 DS. Okay, that doesn't work. The 9 goes in there. Oh, okay. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I don't like this a lot at all. Yeah, that doesn't work. I have to hope this bank shot works. Nice. Does that go? It's not gonna work. Hitting the 7 won't help here. I'll try that. Oh, okay, it still hit it. Oh, wow, okay, we got lucky. And the cue ball goes in, so I think we fail. I might have... wait, was I on... I think that was shot 6, so I needed to not fail that. This looks good, though. This probably finishes the 10th game. No, it's only a 2. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Straight shot on the 8. I'm going to be able to hit the 3 by doing that. This is something I should have put in the billiards tutorial, you know. Like, that is a way of saving a game. Then again, it's just such an edge case that, like, no, terrible spin control. It's such an edge case that, like, is it really going to help many people? Probably not. Oh, the 8 was definitely going in there. That's a shame. Okay, now we're on for a good run. I'm going to try and hit the 1 into the 6. Okay, cue ball, everything went in. Okay, sure. Right, the 2 hitting into 5 definitely works here. The 2 will go in, the 5 maybe goes in. Yeah. Those are the ones we need. That's just really good. I can foul again, actually. So that just makes this really easy. That is a 31-minute time. Sub 31. 30-40 for 10 platinums. When I did this a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, I took almost an hour to do 6. I did not even complete 7 in an hour. And now we've done 10 in half an hour. So if that isn't proof that I am better now than I was for my original run of submitting this to marathons, I don't know what is. I just needed to do this to prove that to myself. Because every time I start up runs of the actual platinum medals run, or even golds sometimes, I just absolutely get so unlucky. Like, I just can't get anything good. And clearly, my average is below 4 minutes. The 4-minute estimate for billiards is justified. My average is 4 minutes there, and that is including one that took me almost 9 minutes. The rest bring the average low enough for me to warrant it being 4 minutes. Like, that is just it. You think you started back your Nintendo arc? Let's go. So you're getting back to Splatoon when you get good internet? You're going to be getting back to Mario and Sonic. You're doing Wii series. You're on Wii Sports Resort, which is going to take 20 billion hours. Are you doing all stamps in Resort, or are you doing all pro? Because all pro will be a lot quicker. I will just say that. All stamps is a tough grind. All Pro, fair enough. All Pro's a sick speedrun, by the way. Like, people did tier lists of all the Wii series games recently, all the categories on the speedrun leaderboard. All Pro is like consistently top 5 on basically everyone's tier lists. I think I put it as number 2 or something, or like at least top 5. Pretty sure. Where actually is it? Let me have a look. Oh, talking of Wii series, we've just had a. I've just seen someone submitted Wii Sports to UKSG Green. Maybe we'll get a Wii series block. That'll be fun. So, what was I gonna look for? Tier list. So, let's have a look. Yeah, so the original one that was by a few of the Wii Series mods and stuff, they put All Pro as number 1, which is fair. A lot of people love Resort. It's a fun category. I put it as 3rd. I put Gold as number 1. Wii Play Gold. Wii Play Plats as number 2. All Pro Resort number 3. Motion Gold's number 4. And Resort All Stamps number 5. All Stamps is just a fun category to watch. Like, it's obviously very well rounded, the same as All Pro is. But yeah. Keeping all the other things for after I finish Wii Series if I ever want to milk the series more. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not doing Champions anymore. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you can probably separate out boxing. People like boxing. And like sword play and stuff like that. And yeah, table tennis. Table tennis is a good one. Boxing is obviously OG Wii Sports. Yeah, Lane submitted Wii Play Bronzes to Red. I don't think it got in. I think it's tricky because Bronzes is, in my opinion, not the best category for marathons. It is welcoming because it's short. It's not the most interesting because you're not really seeing all the games for what they have to offer. Like shooting range, laser hockey, you're sitting there for 100 seconds. Like even me, as the runner who has all the records at the moment in the medal categories, unless it's platinum, then if I'm honest, it's not an interesting game to watch. It's very difficult to make it interesting. So I am actually going to be doing a score run in bronze, silver, and gold when I do submission runs of this. I will not be, like, for platinum, I'll just get to 14 because that's tricky. But for anything else, I will do score runs and take a little bit of time loss to make it more interesting because that is the only way, like, people just want a good showcase, right? But that applies to a lot of games. Laser hockey is just a big one. Table tennis also not a very interesting game. There's just a lot of that going on. And the interesting games only last a minute or two. So they're gone very quickly. I mean, on the flip side, Platts does have a ton of tanks, but people don't love tanks. So it's a lot easier to justify that. The only good thing Bronze has going for it is the length. It's so much easier for a scheduled team to justify that being in. How do you set your VWii to 4.3? So you go in your Wii U system settings and you go into the TV section and you set your resolution to 480p and then you set your aspect ratio to 4.3 when it prompts you. Hey Ellie, how's it going? It is BOEM appreciation time, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the GG Crazyo. Yeah, Lane submitted Wii Play Bronzes. Yeah, Wave is submitting Wii Sports to UKSG. Yeah, Wii U ends up being this weird squashed ratio, but then when you go in the VWii mode, it is just normal 4:3. So like this is what my monitor looks like. So it's fairly squished, like stretched out a little bit. Also, yeah, the tape is still on there. It's still there. So it does end up stretched out a little bit. but in terms of on the actual capture card, I've got a bounding box in OBS that squishes it back down to 4:3. So it's just like it being the perfect 4:3 aspect ratio. Well, that's what you see anyway. I see it slightly stretched out, but you will see it perfectly. Because you get the optimal viewing experience, and I do not. It depends on your monitor, though, I think. Your monitor, your TV, might be different. It might not even be compatible. Oh, yeah, she did have SMB1 plus 2J. Yes, that is true, actually. I remember now. Yeah. I did not catch much of UKSG Red, but I should watch that. Hey, Rubix, thank you for the good luck. So, we're going to do a Platts run. New game order. I'm going to do Billiards first, and then we're going to go completely in order. That is what we're doing. That's the plan for this now. I may change it again, but I do think it's a lot easier to follow if we just do this. I was tempted to do a full in-order run, but starting with Billiards is smart because the moment I get out, if I get out in 2 minutes, I then know I have some leniency for the other games to play a little bit more risky. And if I fail, like, charge or something, it's not the end of the world because I have the time to spare. But if I take a while in Billiards, I know I need to recoup that time. Okay, anyway. Might consider getting a 4.3 VWii mod. Yeah, I mean, you can change it in the Wii U system settings. It's not really a problem. I do have to change it a lot because I run Wii Play and other games. But, yeah, it's alright. It's not too bad. It just means you have to keep turning on the gamepad to go in system settings. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I'm going to be back, and then we can do a run of Platts. I'll leave you on the menu music. You know what? Actual menu music. I'll leave you there. Alright, let's give this a go. I've been outside to hear why the dog is barking, and we have no idea. He's just barking. I'm not home alone, so someone is with him. It's just that he's just barking because he can. Okay. Right, let's do a run. Let's start with Platts. We'll start with Platts and then do maybe Golds after. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, this is Wii Play Platinum Medals. The goal of this run is to get all the platinum medals in all 9 games. We're starting with Billiards, and then we're going to go in order from there. The reason we're starting with Billiards is because it is a little bit RNG heavy. So we need to get 60 points, and the way we do that is to clear the table of all 9 balls in 7 shots plus fouls. Now, what I need to do is I need a good break shot. Every time you restart this game, the balls are going to very slightly change positions. So I'm scanning the board every time I restart just to take quick restarts if it doesn't look very good. So for example, that just does not look very good. It does mean we can take very quick restarts and then go hopefully for at least a 2-ball break. That means getting 2 balls in on the break shot. So another thing to mention is if I get a foul, that increases that decreases the number of shots I'm allowed to take. So if I take 1 foul, so if the cue ball goes in a pocket or something, then that will mean I only have 6 shots to work with. And the cue ball is the white ball here that we're using to hit the numbered balls. So all we can really do here is just take a maximum power shot on the cue ball, move a little bit up, a little bit right, and hope that that works okay. We are struggling here a little bit, but that is fine. We have 4 minutes allowed here, and the actual game will only take us about 1 minute. But there's a lot that goes into this game. It's very technical. I've actually made a tutorial for this recently. There's a lot of spin control in here as well. There's no training game kind of thing in here, but Wii Sports did have spin control and stuff like that. Nothing like that for Billiards, unfortunately, but yeah, hopefully we can get something going here. We are getting quite unlucky, but this is just what we expect from this. So the cue ball, 8 ball kind of getting stuck there. This is our first attempt, our first good attempt at a platinum here. So I'm just going to line this up a little bit. I'm going to use spin control to stop the ball still. And then this is tricky. So I am going to have to knock the 4 into the 9 for the 9 ball to go in, because I cannot do a direct shot on the 4 for that to go in because the 9 is blocking it. Didn't quite work out. It is tricky. That's not the kind of thing we'd use in regular runs. I'm going to do some backspin here to get a good position on the 5 ball. There we go. I'm going to need 2 in 1 shot here though, so I'm going to take a bit of a risk and try and hit the 7 with this and hope something good happens. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm going to take a minute because that was ridiculous. How do we take 3 minutes to get 1 free break? Like, half an hour it takes me to do 10 platinums, and then we do that as soon as I start yapping. Like, okay. I'll take a minute again. Right, let's give this another go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, this is Wii Play. You know what? Actually, I should probably start from here. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, this is Wii Play Platinum Medals. The goal of this is to get all 9 Platinum Medals in hopefully an hour and 5 minutes. That's going to be my estimate for this. And the first game is going to be Billiards. The rest will be played in order. We can play them in any order, so that can be customized depending on what the event would prefer. But the reason we're starting with Billiards is because it's a little bit RNG heavy. So I need to clear the table in 7 shots plus fouls. But as you can see, it's a 9-ball pool game. We need to clear all 9 balls. The game doesn't end when the 9-ball goes in, unlike regular 9-ball pool. So unfortunately, it is quite tricky for us to meet this requirement. So we need to clear 3 balls on the first shot. And then from that point on, 1 ball in every consecutive shot. Here is going to need to be a bit of a plant shot. So that means hitting a ball into another ball for it to go in. The 9 does go in there. And the 1 actually ended up in as well. We did need that because I only got 2 on the break shot. So we are now even, despite only getting 2 balls on the break, which is quite unlucky. I'm just going to try and line this up here. Hopefully the 2 goes in. It does. So the 4 and the 6, unfortunately the 6 is being blocked. So, sorry, the 4 is being blocked by the 6, so I'm not going to be able to hit that in. I'm hoping the 6 is going to go in the pocket, though. And then maybe with that power, the 4 goes in. Not quite. We're on a good position for it, though, so as long as I have good spin control here. This game doesn't really have any, like, tutorial or anything like that in the actual game itself. I have made a speedrunning tutorial for this, and I'm working on all the other games as well, but yeah, in terms of speedrunning this, yeah, this does not have a tutorial, unfortunately. So I am going to try my best to get this into the other corner. I'm going to need to hit the ball quite hard. You know what? I'm going to go for a bank shot, actually. I don't really like anything in particular here. Okay, both balls need to go in now for this to be saved. Not quite. That's fine. So that was really tricky. For me, for that to work, because the 7 ball was on the cushion, we would have needed the cue ball to stop in a pretty good spot there. And if I hit the 5 straight into the easiest cushion there, unfortunately, we would have not been in a good spot to hit that one in. So that was quite tricky. We have 4 minutes to get out of Billiards, but there is a few minutes of time save that I'd scattered into the other games as well. So we're not really in danger just by going over a little bit here. So again, I'm going to try and hit the cue ball into the 4. Didn't quite work out. That's fine. We're going to have to take a restart there. And a lot of Billiards in no resets is optimizing each reset. If it doesn't look great at the start, like for example that, I can scan the board and I can see that there's not too much going on there that looks good. So it's unlikely that that is going to be converted into a platinum. So that's a 3 break with a foul. So unfortunately, we're still 1 ball behind. I'm going to hit the 2 into the 4. The 8 ball goes in there, which is quite fortunate. And the 2 ball just about in a good position here for me to get that one in. I'm going to hit it quite slowly, actually, so I'm on a good spot on the 3. Unfortunately, that is pretty tricky now. Let's do this. Hopefully that works. And unfortunately, that's another foul. So I'm going to hit into both balls and hope that we get something good here. So we have had 2 fouls, so this does need to work. Basically, the more balls you hit, the more likely it is that something will happen. We get 1 ball in there, but not both, unfortunately. So we will take another restart. And here we go. As soon as we reach 4 minutes, we are at a 3 break. So we're going to give this one more shot. Here we go. So I'm going to line this up. Try and avoid that 4 ball. It is kind of in the way there. There we go. Okay, not a good spot on the 3. I'm going to rely on getting the 4 ball in by hitting the cue ball into the 4 ball. There we go. Hopefully 3 ball does something good. Not quite, but that is fine. We're still on pace. The main important one was the 4 ball. 3 ball, unfortunately, getting in a bad spot again. So I'm going to need to take a bank shot. There's no way I'm going to be able to take a direct shot for that to go in. Cue ball goes in off of that, so I'm going to have to make up another shot as a result. Okay, this is really irritating. Come on. Okay, right. Like, I have to do the same the same bit every time. Okay. That's 10 minutes and no platinum. which is ridiculous because I just had an average of 3 minutes. Okay. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, this is Platinum Medals in Wii Play. So we're going to be going for all 9 Platinums across all the games. The first one is going to be Billiards, and then we'll play the rest in order. The reason for that is because there's a little bit of RNG in Billiards, and we can use our skill to get through most of this. We just need a little bit of luck at the beginning to get a good starting shot. So we need 7 shots plus fouls combined to clear all 9 balls from the table. And you might be thinking, well, you're only going to get 1 per shot, right? Well, on the break shot, you can get multiple balls. And if you're good, you can get multiple on other shots as well. So ideally, we're going to get 3 in 1 shot at the beginning. We haven't yet managed to do that yet. I would say it happens about, 10 to 20% of the time. But a lot of these are 2-ball breaks, and those are also often possible to convert into platinums as well, if you manage to get 2 in 1 shot after the break shot. So the main thing for me to do here is optimize how quickly I'm restarting. I'm scanning the board. I'm trying to work out if anything good is happening. If it doesn't look too great, then I will take a quick restart rather than playing out the entire break shot. The main thing I'm doing is just trying to figure out where all the balls are heading at the beginning. 6-ball actually getting stuck between 2 jaws of the pocket there. So it does kill all of the speed, and unfortunately it didn't go in the pocket, but that is fine. We'll see what we can do here. We've got 1 ball in. Yeah, this is not continuable. It's only a 1-ball break. That's fine. The main reason I did something there is because the balls were quite close together. So this is a 2 now. So for me to convert this, I would need to get 2 in 1 shot. So the main thing I'll do is I'll just try to hit as many as I can. Yeah, so we managed to hit 5 there. Nothing much happening from that, but it does obviously make it a lot more likely that something will happen, because the more balls you hit, there are more collisions going on, and there's a higher chance that something will go in a pocket eventually, if there's enough speed going on. So, unfortunately, that's a foul, so that will not work out. So, 9-ball close to a pocket there. It's only a 2 break again, but that is a decent setup. Oh, no, it's a 3 break. I can count, I promise. So this is going to be quite tricky because I have a high chance of the cue ball going in here. Backspin stopped it from the first one, but it ended up going in the second, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually knock this into the 9 and hope that the spin is enough to carry the 4-ball in as well. It doesn't quite, but it is close enough for an easy shot on the 4-ball. And cue ball going in, unfortunately, again. I'm going to need all 3 in 1 shot here. Yeah, not quite. So we'll take another restart. There is time save scattered around the rest of this run. 4 minutes is the amount I'm allowing myself for Billiards. But it could take a little bit longer. It could be done within 1 minute. As you can see, I've got 4 balls in 1 shot here. So I will actually be going for a ball that isn't looking too easy there. So I'll go for the 4-ball. The 8-ball is the more difficult one there. But in terms of looking ahead for planning for the rest of the shots, it made more sense to go for the 4. So I'm going to go for this one. Little bit of spin control here will be needed. Otherwise, the cue ball will go in the middle pocket. Very careful there. So 2 more shots to go. We took a foul, so we do need to do this within 6. But that is fine. And again, just a bit of a rebound off that cushion there for the cue ball. I'm just going to take my time a little bit. And once again, a bit more spin control. If we do backspin, that brings the ball back. Think when you throw a hula hoop in the air, and when it lands, it bounces back. That's the kind of the same thing in this game. You use backspin, the ball will go back, and it stops the ball from going just in a dead straight line into the pocket on a lot of these. So next up is shooting range. I'm actually going to connect a second controller for this, and you will see very quickly why. So in Platinum, we need 600 points, and I'm actually going to play the first phase very quickly. So the first one is balloons. We can get 1 point for these, or 2 points if we hit the same colour back to back. So fairly simple phase. However, this one, I'm going to be hitting purple targets. The reason for that is there is a glitch on the NTSC USA 1.0 version of the game, which is the one I'm playing on, where if I hit purple targets with the second remote in one player mode, I will actually get plus 3 points. Now, we think that is a carryover thing from the 2-player mode in this game. That's fine, there we go. Got a decent combo there, you get combo points. And these purple targets make a huge difference in the run. It saves a good 10 plus seconds. So it is really, really nice that we have this at our disposal. Because not only does it mean you're getting points for those purples, it also means that you are getting more targets spawning. Because there's not a fixed number of points in those target cycles. You actually get a varied number of points each time. So next up is the clay discs, and these will always spawn specific numbers at each point, but you don't actually know where they'll spawn. If you hit them quickly, you get 5 points. If you don't, then you get 3. But we do want to hit them because, as with most stuff in shooting range, it's not actually an auto-scroller. The level will end as soon as everything is hit. So once we get these, there we go. And we're actually on pretty good pace for the platinum. So 552, we have a couple of birds to hit in this level. They do give us bonus points. We will need a little bit of work done on the cans to get through here. So I'm just going to hit that 5. That's actually no time lost to go for that one. And I'm just going to hit those 2. There we go. Actually saves 0.6 seconds hitting that foreground can there, because it takes a little while for that one to land. And we are just shy of our 600. So we're going to hit these 2 slow UFOs, which is the optimal strat anyway. And we are bang on 600. If we needed, there's a good 200 points available here if we needed to play safe. This is really not an issue. It's no billiards. So we are absolutely fine. And yeah, the 2 controller strats save a huge amount of time. That's our platinum. So moving on now is Find Me. And we're going to need 80 levels here. This is a longer game that we're going to be working on. And there's a lot of potential audience participation in this game. It's a pretty fun one. So you might notice at the beginning, a lot of the Miis are wearing hats. And that is deliberate. So every level has a specific condition. So like find lookalikes, find odd Miis out. So some of them will look left, some of them will look right. Or there's a level where they step left or step right, and the other ones will do the opposite. So you need to pick the right answers. The main thing with this game that is notable is that the... I'm just going to skip my splits because I'm not focused on them in this run. The main thing to note is that... There we go, nice. Very quick there. So they look left or right on that level. So a lot of my Miis have hats, and the reason for that is because it makes them a lot easier to find. So every Mii has the same height, the same weight, and they all have like a pastel coloured shirt on, rather than the full customization that you get in the regular Mii channel. I'm just going to burn that hit there because I knew that was incorrect. I think it might be Matt. There we go, nice. Matt just respawning on the top there, so I had to wait until the legs reappeared to actually get that one right. There we go. So, I have a lot of unique looking Miis because it makes them easier to find in Find Me. They stay on my system all the time. This is possible to play without those Miis, but it's a lot trickier. So, that is how I've decided to play this out. And yeah, so that's a second Mii that I've made more similar to my Switch Mii, but I've put a hat on that Mii. And the reason for that is because the favourite colour shirt normally would be based on your favourite colour in that it's set to in the Mii channel. But they kind of thought of that. They kind of thought, hang on, that's going to give away who it is very easily. So rather than that, they did allow you to keep the hat colours. So we have caps and beanies on a lot of Miis here. and that will help us to find the answer. So there are 12 colours and 2 different hats. So you can pretty much use 24 different ones. Some of them are harder to find than others. There's like navy colour, which does do a very good job blending in on a lot of levels. You're also playing some of these levels in the dark later on once it gets more tricky. And there is another fairly recent strat called what I'm dubbing the 80% rule. So how the 80% rule works is if you have a level in Find Me, there is up to 80% of the Miis will be from your Mii channel, and up to 50% will be from the Mii Plaza, which is your normal section, and 30% from the Mii Parade. So Mii Parade by default on a console is something that was originally available on the Wii. You can run on Wii U as well, but yes, Mii Parade does help a lot for this because you can put Miis in the Mii Parade and they will count as a separate area for the game to pull Miis from, which is fantastic. Does help a lot here. That's a DK Bongos Mii, in case it wasn't obvious. A lot of these Miis are pulled from MiiCharacters.com because they have instructions on there, and it makes it a lot easier to make this funny like face art and stuff. And some of them are like the clock face Mii. I've actually put caps and stuff on because they are quite difficult to spot some of the time. So we have these water levels as well. It's quite tricky on these because the Miis will be covering their faces a little bit while they're swimming. There's Waluigi, there we go. There's my Mii. So another thing that we are now starting to notice a little bit is the big beginner-friendly strat in this run called Hitbox Strat. Now that is a strat that applies to Find Me, and watch as I scroll along in a straight line, and you will notice that some of these Miis very obviously stand out. That's because the Miis with larger Miis that are correct have larger hitboxes than incorrect ones. So right at the beginning here, I'm actually spawning in right on Waluigi conveniently, and that was a correct answer. That was by luck, but eventually I would have found that as well. Another thing here is that on escalator levels, there will only be one correct answer per escalator. So if it's a 3 lookalikes level, you just search for the one with the lowest, the fewest Miis, and there will guaranteed one of those will be correct, which is very useful. So yeah, Hitbox Strat is great. It's great on crowded levels. It's great on levels where you're zoomed out. The camera gets very zoomed out by the end of this game. So pick a favorite. We're actually going to pick anyone, and we just need to remember that face for later. So in a couple of levels, it will ask me to find the same Mii. And just using Hitbox Strat there to find the correct answer. It's a bit trickier here with 8 Miis, but we'll see if we can do it. Not quite. I think it's one of these top ones. Yeah, there we go. If you need, you can just brute force that level. You only lose 5 seconds of time, and you have 120 seconds on the timer when it's maxed out. There we go. So again, Find Me is 80 levels. It's a good one for donations and messages. There's a lot to talk about at the beginning. But after that, it's pretty much just... the game gets a lot harder, and we want to get through. So the game also, if we were going for the silver medal, this would be 40 levels for silver. So the game starts to throw some dark levels at you, which is a bit sneaky. There we go. We are done with 40. But this is one of the biggest forms of time save in the run. This is very, very important game across any medal run in Wii Play speedrunning. There we go. So I would say the trifecta of the important games is Billiards, Tanks, and Find Me. We will see Tanks at the end because it's last in the order. We can move Tanks to be earlier, but for the sake of marathon runs, I'm playing them in order, except Billiards. So the fastest Mii, there will be some Miis that move at different speeds, and for the most part, especially at the beginning, it will just be one Mii absolutely zipping through. So what happens there is a lot of the time that fastest Mii will actually get stuck a little bit. So that kind of makes it a little bit more obvious if the Mii is kind of zipping between one and another Mii. We now have sleepyheads as well. There we go. So something important to note is that those Miis are separate from each other, so I can actually guess 2 Miis at once during a cooldown before I'm kind of timed out from guessing again. Basically, there's a roughly 1 second cooldown before you can take a guess, and if you take an incorrect guess, then that cooldown kicks back in again. So there is an incentive to be right. But if you're not sure about an answer, you might as well fire away and see if you get it right. And there is actually a fast strat to losing at the end of the run, which is what we will need to do to actually cash in our medal. The only other way is to clear all 99 levels. So we do need to be fairly quick. That is a solid run, by the way. That's a sub 8 minute 50 levels. That is one of my best Find Me's ever, actually. And I've only recently started using Me Parade strats, so that 80% rule clearly helping me a lot there. I don't think it's a PB, but it's very, very close. I've also added a lot more new Miis onto my system. That's a Donkey Kong Mii. So I'm starting to get used to some of these, which is quite good. There we go. So very zoomed out level there. You'll see my cursor often starting at the top of the screen so I can seek out the Miis that are zoomed out. These later levels, when the camera's very far away, it's very obvious when hitbox strat kicks in. So it's very good to make use of that. And as you can see, this is a pointer-based minigame. I should mention Wii Play is a tech demo, kind of like the opposite of Wii Sports. This is like Wii Sports' long-lost sibling, I guess, where you use the pointer. You use motion some of the time. In Billiards, you use motion. In fishing, you use motion, for instance. But here we're using pure pointer. That is all we're using. There we go, there's Aang. Aang was actually quite a tricky Mii for me. I lost a lot of time in my world record platinum medals run because I couldn't find Aang, which is unfortunate. The arrow doesn't actually stand out as much as you'd think, so I actually added a beanie for Aang, and he's a lot easier to find now, which is very good. So this is a quirk of the NTSC 1.0 version of the game. For some reason, the lights just don't come on in level 61. And another thing you might notice is there were a lot of Miis there. On 1.1 versions of the game, that is not the case. So the light does come on at the correct time, and there are less Miis on approximately 15 levels. It's a big difference. So if you're running Find Me on its own, you actually want to run on a 1.1 version of the game. That is not the Mii I thought I was selecting. That's okay. Yeah, you actually want to run on a 1.1 version of the game because there are less Miis to choose from in specific levels on that one. There we go. Using hitbox strat at the top of the screen just to seek out the correct answer there. And of course, Mike Wazowski, because why not? So you might be wondering, where do the other 20% of the Miis come from? So no caps there. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a coloured hat. Not quite. That's a lot easier to remember if that comes up. That's fine. So there are 4 databases in here. One of them is the Mii Plaza, one of them is the Mii Parade, one of them is the console RAM, which actually has Miis loaded onto it, which will be pulled into Find Me if needed. And the other one is just random Mii data that the game creates, and that will also create more Miis for the game to use. Matt wandered off there. That's fine. We're playing on 4:3 aspect ratio, and the reason for that is because it saves a lot of time in tanks later on. Spiky hair. There we go. I remembered spiky hair, but I did not remember much past that, so that's fine. We can also use hitbox strat there if we don't remember the answer. It's all good. This is quite a nice game for safety because of hitbox strat and hats and things like that. Yeah, so up to at least 20% of the Miis in a level will be, especially in these levels with a lot of Miis, they will be randomized, essentially. So that is why it's so useful to get as many Miis from your Mii channel as possible, so you don't have to worry about those randomized Miis as much. Okay, pretty good there though. And nice, that was a really, really nice find. So again, lots of Miis on that level. There's like 6 rows going on there. And that is pretty tricky. Question mark, that is fine. I will need to actually check whether this is going to beat my Find Me Platinum Medal IL or not. I don't know if it will, because my Find Me in my PB is really, really good. But it has got to be at least somewhat close. So I will check that as we're going through this run here. But I won't jump the gun too much, because there is one more thing for me to do, and that is to drain my timer. There we go, good answer. Took a little while there. There's a lot of me's to work through on that escalator level. It's a pretty tricky one. And then what I need to do here is I need to actually drain my timer. So I will just focus, and I'll explain what I'm doing after. There we go. So I have drained as much of my timer as I can. And the reason for that is we can select 2 incorrect answers to lose 10 seconds per penalty on that level. Here, on level 81, we can only lose 5 seconds per cooldown. And we need to select 5 me's to do that. So it's very much quicker for me to just go through and drain as much time as possible there, even though we pick up 10 seconds again. Saves a surprising amount of time to do that strat, actually. So that is a 1340, sub 1340 certainly. So I will check that after this. But moving on now to table tennis. We will need to play this 2 times. Once to get the the gold medal at 100 points. And the second one is going to be to get the platinum medal for 200. So you have to play 100 to unlock the full game. And then you can go up to 999 if you really want. There is a speedrun that does that. Highest achievements and all achievements. But unless you're cracked or you pause buffer, then that's that's a tricky one. Personally, I took the pause buffer route when I did my couple of runs of those. So this game gets slightly faster over time. I'm actually holding the ball, the paddle fairly close to the net. I can't hold it too close, because otherwise we will get a foul. We won't get any bounces, and that's a foul in table tennis. So we just need to build this rally as long as possible. The CPU will throw the ball left, middle, or right, and I just need to keep my eyes firmly on that paddle, that red paddle, to see where it's going to be going. So I'm slowly moving my paddle back a little bit. There is a danger of me failing this, but if I do, then I will pause buffer. There's no shame in pause buffering. I did a couple of pause buffers in my world record because the strat we used to get from 186 to 200 points actually didn't work. And I had to do a bit of a backup strat. And you should always know your backups in these speedruns. Even if you're grinding for a top time, you should know your backups. Always know your backups. So next up is the 200 pointer. And this will get very, very tricky by the end. Don't be fooled by us playing this 2 times. It will require a lot of focus. It's a good time for messages or donations at the beginning of the game, because it's the same game going on here, which is nice because there's a lot going on in this run to talk about most of the time. So it's nice to have a bit of a breather. But once we get past 100, the game is going to ramp up very, very quickly. And after that point, I'll have a pattern to talk about. So you get a little bit of a slowdown every 50 points after 100. So 100 there's a bit of a slowdown, 150 there's a bit of a slowdown. But really not much of a slowdown, it's barely noticeable. Okay, so here's our slowdown. Just going to get as many points in as I can here. If you play safe here, you do lose a few seconds. I've had a few runs where I've had a particularly good pace going into table tennis and I decide to play safe. and ends up costing me several seconds in the run, which is surprising for a game like this. It's another one you'd think is an auto-scroller, but it actually is not. It's very deceiving. So at 150 we'll get a slight slowdown. Just watch the pattern at 186 to 200 points, because I'm going to be holding my paddle slightly to the right of the middle line. And hopefully that will send the ball left every time. So, absolute focus time here. Remember, I will pause buffer if I need. Okay. Oh, that is mean. So, the pattern has a high chance of working. Most runs for 14 full points. Unfortunately there, I don't know if I was holding slightly to the left of the middle line. The ball ended up getting sent middle. Basically, the reason that happens is because the game tries to send the ball the opposite side, just to throw you off of platinum. Kind of like Find Me giving you dark levels with a spotlight before a medal. So the game tries to throw you off there. And unfortunately, the pattern did not play ball. So that is absolutely fine. We'll pause buffer this time when we get close to the end. We do have the time to spare thanks to that, to be honest, quite incredible Find Me. That was really, really good. But yeah, table tennis is probably the main bottleneck for stuff like this. Pause buffering does work. It's a really, really nice strat. So what we'll be doing is, once again, knowing our backups. Very important. So I am going to get as far as I can, as we did last time, and then we will start pause buffering. So when you pause, the pointer, which is what we're using for this game as normal, the pointer is in the menu, so you can see where the pointer is, and that will be a rough indication of where the paddle will be. Now what we can do is we can use that to teleport the paddle in just a few frames. So it's not a way of saving a run very easily, but it is a way of very quickly teleporting the paddle into the right spot. So if you, in that game, I would not have possibly been able to pause. I did not realise the ball had fallen until the sound effect happened. You just kind of have to be locked into hoping the paddle, the red paddle hits the ball. That's just what you have to know. It's going to happen. You have to believe it's going to happen. So there's our 150. I will pause when it becomes relevant. So here we go. It'll take a few seconds per hit to do this. So for the most part, the ball will go in a predictable place each time. Left, middle, or right. So as you can see, just a few frames taken each time to hit the ball. When it's a shot from the left to the right, I will be taking my time a little bit on these hits rather than going straight for it. It's always tense at this stage. Remember, 186 to 200 is a way of us getting through, with it always going left every time, assuming the pattern works. It's not 100%, but I would say most of my runs do get 14 out of 14, so it is as close to 100% as it can be, without being dead on 100. So as we can see, I'm holding the other side this time. There we go. So going left, going right. It's harder for me to stick to the pattern doing pause buffering. So I will just let the game do its thing. Throw it the other side. We'll let it play out. And as you can see, it's going left, right every single time. And there we go. There's our 200. We are out. Alright. We're going to have a little bit of time to make up in the rest, but again, we do have some extra time to work with. That is fine. Okay, next is Pose Me. So, what we'll be doing here is we need 1,200 points. It's a pretty tricky... it's a big requirement, again, for Platinum. The other medals, 150 for Bronze, 400 for Silver, 800 for Gold. So this is quite a big one. Now, every level has an invisible timer. We'll see this invisible timer mechanic again in fishing later on. But in here is a 30-second invisible timer. So as soon as a level starts and spawns its first bubble, you got 30 seconds to pop more bubbles. So you can't clear levels early per se, but you can get more bubbles to spawn. So the benefit of that is that you can reach your 1,200 quicker. And I'm actually going to go for a strat here called Pose Meaty. Now, what we have here is a really nice pattern. There are patterns in every Pose Me level. Some of them subtle, some of them obvious. So, to start here, we get 24 bubbles going 6 left, 6 right, 6 left, 6 right. And when we drop a life, it will actually reset the pattern back to the easy one. So, we will lose 10 perfect bonus points here because I have dropped a life on this level. However, this does actually save time, believe it or not, by default. Even if I don't play particularly well, I will save a second or two just from doing that, because later on, I'm going to need to lose lives, and the level we're going to be finishing on in this run is going to be a very, very slow level, coincidentally. So only dropping 2 lives there instead of 3 is going to be great, because it saves us from taking ages to let the bubbles fall. So here at the end of this level, you just get left slant, right slant, or dead center. And your me, again, controlled by the pointer, locks very slightly. You don't need to be absolutely perfect into every bubble. That would make the game impossible. But, yeah, you do need to be fairly precise to get these. But it will lock in place, so you can use that to your advantage a little bit. And we're now starting to need to change poses mid-level as well. You can get multiple bubbles at once, which we'll start to see now. If you get really close to the bottom, then the game will actually throw you rainbow bubbles as a little bit of a throwing you a bone to try and save your game. So if you get a rainbow bubble, it will pause the timer for up to 10 seconds, or until you pop all of the bubbles on the screen. So it is a way of saving the run. However, it also is a little bit slow unless you deliberately are going for an earlier level to finish on. Some people do that. I personally don't do that because that is incredibly difficult. So instead, I'll just be trying to minimize my rainbow time. There will be a level later on which we are probably going to get at least 1 rainbow, maybe 2 rainbows on. But as long as I pop it fairly late, then we will actually minimize how much of an effect it will have. And the perfect bonuses will be more than enough to carry me to the medals. So this is quite a nice one because you always know, especially at the beginning, which direction the bubbles are going to start spinning in. There we go. And the question I always like to ask at this stage of the run is what everyone's favourite stock image is. People seem to be big fans of the burbs. People love the burbs. We got flowers, we got bubbles, we got all sorts. I don't know why they did this. We actually don't get to see the lion very much. Lion is on level 16. We won't be seeing all the levels in here. Level 16 is very tricky, though. Very, very fast level. There are moments where if I have a bit of a slip up, then even now I will still fail that level. So here we get a single bubble, and then we get tons spawning in, followed by a rainbow. So it's spawned quite high, so I can actually leave it quite late, which is fantastic. means that I can pop these quite quickly, and then we move on to this second one. That second one has actually spawned really low, so I will need to pop that at some stage soon. There we go, just leaving it as late as I possibly can. And then we get some quite quick bubbles spawning in now. There we go, not a bad level. Rainbow bubbles were pretty fast, actually, so I'm happy with that. Next is the upside down level. This is a very similar pattern that we've seen earlier in the game, except the bubbles are upside down, so it's a nice one. It's a very simple one. Good time for donations. Ooh, got a rainbow there. That's unfortunate. I'm surprised the game gave me one for that. Okay, that's fine. So this one is quite deceiving. It's a fast level, but the pattern is the same every time. You get 2 of a specific pose, then 3 of another, then 9 of another, then 9 of another, and then finally you end with this middle pose, which will always start slightly slanted left or slightly slanted right every single time. And it actually means if you stay really close to the top, you can pretty much keep your me really quite close to the center. And it will actually count the pops each time. So this is actually one of the harder ones. We're less so going to be getting more bubbles spawning in here, unless I play well like I did there. But we're more so just trying to minimize our rainbows, and as long as we don't drop any bubbles. We do have a spare life. You could go for double pose meaty in level 2, which saves 2 or 3 seconds minimum. But personally, I don't do that in a no reset because I would like that extra life. Generally though, pose me is not a problem. It has to really start falling apart for pose me to be a problem for platinum medal. There we go, so similar to the level we saw earlier. I'm just going to pop that rainbow quite early. There we go. Nice. So this is the level I expect to get enough points on. We're going to get 65 for clearing this. So as long as we get through here, I can start taking it a bit easier now. Because there's no reason to play too fast anymore. Because as long as we get this perfect bonus, we will be fine. There we go. And at this stage, we will let the bubbles drop. And that will be the end of the level. 1,200 points, more than enough. And we're actually going to see something here called score skip. We've seen it in every game so far, but I've not explained it. Basically, when we have a new save file, we can create a bunch of high scores without getting any medals at the beginning. And you might see this leaderboard. That means, because we got no high score, that skips a 3-second animation. That saves 28 seconds across a whole run. 3.1 seconds times 9 it adds up pretty quick. Okay, now we have laser hockey. This is a tricky requirement when you start out in runs. It's 14 points. At the beginning, we can cheese it here. We get 2 minutes on the clock, and it pauses every time we score a goal. So using the side of the paddle is slightly faster, so I will be doing that. Okay, just going to rely on the CPU hitting that there. A bit of a backup, that's fine. So you get a tiny bit more speed by using the edge of the paddle. If you use the middle, you have a lot more control, but at the beginning here, we will be doing this. You can cheese the first roughly 7 points. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Like here, it's not always going to be first shot, because the CPU will get faster over time, much faster by the end. There are score runs of this where people get well into the 20-point zone. This game is actually easier on 16:9. I mentioned earlier that we're playing on 4:3 to save time in tanks. And that does mean we are kind of nerfed in laser hockey. There's no time save in laser hockey, but it is a very important game in Plats because it is so scary. It's a very intimidating game if you're on pace for a PB. I have lost many paces to this game. Nice, managed to squeeze one into the goal there. So the longer a rally goes on, the ball will actually build up a lot of speed. So we can use that to our advantage, get a little bit of an edge over the CPU. There we go. So something along those lines will allow me to sneak a goal in there. There we go. Oh, not quite. I'm going to stop the ball using the back of the paddle. That is a thing you can do. We will do that at the end of the game as well to stop the CPU from playing anymore. So I'm also using the bottom. I'm holding the bottom of the screen so I can then rebound off the top wall. That's usually my strat here. I find that a lot easier. And again, hit with the back of the paddle, and that is the end of the game, 14-0. And we have a little bit of time to rest a little bit. And yeah, the CPU can't do anything, can't go past the middle line. So we are now 14-0. And the good thing with this game is if you concede any goals, you only lose a few seconds. You don't actually increase the number you need. You don't need to win by 14, you just need 14. So we are absolutely fine here with a perfect game. And we are moving on now to fishing, which has a little bit of motion controls, but also a lot of pointer, as we've seen. Thank you for the good luck, Diesel. Okay, so fishing coming up now. What we're going to be doing is we need 2,600 points, and we start off with a decent pond here, actually. So what I need to do is I have 3 main scoring fish that we have here. The main ones are the green ones, which is the plain fish. We have the yellow fish, and we have the red ones. The red ones are great because they score 150 to 200 points every time. So they take 4 bites though, so it's based on size, 170 there, and we are very close to coming up to a bonus change. Now, we don't have any yellow fish in the pond, so it's guaranteed to be the red fish, which is fantastic. The yellow ones are sort of middle in points. Unfortunately there, I couldn't really catch the red one very easily, so I'm just going to let it zip around the pond. It will do about a lap and a half of the pond. That is a maximum size red one though, which is very good. And yeah, no more time left on the bonus timer there. It's another invisible timer. Fishing is based on an invisible timer. The bonus is based on an invisible timer. There's a lot of timers going on here you can't see. There's one more fish we're going to catch at the end. We're possibly going to get 3 yellow bonuses, which is very rare to get 3 in one cycle. But that just worked out very well there. And I am going to catch one more fish. I'm aiming for 11 fish. Basically, every time you catch a fish, it pauses the timer. But all I need now is one more King of the Pond, and that will finish off the game. This has been a very, very fortunate fishing here. So, yeah, red fish zip around the pond if you sneak up to them. We're actually going to try and bait out the small fry. Small fry only take a single bite, and they make you lose 50 points. So, the more we can get out of the pond, the better, because they will interfere with our runs. A lot of the strategy in fishing is sort of luring a specific fish around the pond. The king is very easy because that spawns at a fixed time and it's a massive fish, so you will have it locked onto you very far away compared to other fish. Mystery fish, they spawn at random. We didn't actually get any when we wanted them, but they can give you up to 250 points, and it would have been a bonus, which would have been fantastic if it was at the beginning of the game. We got it quite late though. I'm not gonna risk getting a mystery fish bonus right at the end. They're very rare. So, yeah, we're not going to be doing that. But that's a very good game. Only 9 fish there. And we have another fairly quick platinum coming up now. This is Charge. And then after this, we're going to have the big one, Tanks. So we're going to save a second by starting over there. That's a tiny little cutscene skip. And what we need is 325 points. So if I get all the scarecrows here, I will get 300. And a time bonus of 25 is going to get me enough for the platinum. So this is pretty much 100% IL. And you might be thinking, IL? Like, is there ILs of this? There are ILs of this. People have sunk hours into this. There's a lot of tech involved. There's drifting going on. It's wild. This is fully motion-based. There's no pointer controls going in here. So that was actually a drift there, very slightly. Yeah, so as you heard there, a bit of a drift. Unfortunately, missed the scarecrow. Drifting can be quite fast, but it also does... It can be a little bit janky. You get a little bit less control there if you do that. So I'm just going to hold the middle, and hopefully we have enough. 33, that gives us 327. That is absolutely fine. That is just enough. So I only missed one scarecrow, but I missed 6 points. That's because there's a bonus of 5 when you hit a full set of scarecrows. So it's a scary game. I've lost a couple of world record pace runs to this. So we have actually completed all of the medals except one. We now have tanks to go. And we are going to need to play the same as table tennis 2 times rather than our 1 that we did at the beginning. And there's a little bit of time saved for me here, but there is a little bit of RNG based on where the tanks go. Most of this is skill, but when you come down to the absolute tiny details of optimizing this game, you do need a little bit of luck on your side as well. So 20 missions to unlock the full game, and then there are 100 missions. We will only need to beat 30 of them, though. So this is the gold medal run, and the strats will be slightly different between the gold and the platinum. It's not going to be the same game each time. I am incentivized to play a deathless run here. So in the platinum, we will need to lose lives at the end. But in the gold medal, it's going to end immediately. You might be thinking, find me. I actually hit that tank with 2 bullets at once there. Both of them disappeared. That's a very funny quirk that happens. If the mission carried on there, it actually would have been quite good, because I'd have replenished 2 of my bullets straight away. Yeah, so you might be thinking, in Find Me, we needed to drain our timer. In Pose Me, we needed to drain our lives. In Tanks, Gold, you don't need to do that, because the game ends at 20 missions. In the Platinum run, you do need to do that. So we are very much incentivized to play a deathless run for the gold medal. Not so much for the other medals. We can play a little bit more risky for those. That's unfortunate. So we lose 8.5 seconds for that. It's not a huge amount, but that is absolutely fine. So I should talk a lot about tanks here now. There's a lot going on. The first thing is the tank colours that you see. So mine is blue. I get 5 bullets and 2 mines at my disposal. Nice rebounds there. I wasn't going to be able to reach the teal tank. So I get 5 bullets and 2 mines. Whenever a bullet ricochets once, I will... that will ricochet off a wall, and then if it hits another wall again, then it will disappear. Mines last 10 seconds. Oops, that is not a split. I'm used to sub-splits. So mines last 10 seconds. Unless they are detonated early by a tank walking into them. I can walk into my own mines, and it is possible for some enemy tanks to lay mines. Good defense there. So I do need to be a little bit careful of that. So, yeah, 2.5 dimensional game, tanks. So I actually cannot always see where mines are if they're behind walls. So the enemy tanks, we have brown tanks, which are very slow at shooting bullets. That was a fantastic spray there. There we go. Fantastic mission. Brown tanks do not move. Grey tanks do move. They don't fire too often. And teal tanks have rocket bullets. Now, greys and teals are defensive, so they are very scary for speedrunning. Nice, we got a kill there. That's good. They're very scary for speedrunning because they can run away and they can cost us a lot of time. They're not scary in terms of lives because they are quite easy to kill, though. So here we also had yellow tanks, which lay up to 4 mines at once. They only get 1 bullet, though. And then we have pink tanks, which we just saw. They have 3 bullets, but they fire quite quickly, so they are a bit of a challenge. And we will see later on purple tanks, which when they're paired with purples, they are a very, very deadly combo. if I were to say any two tanks that are the scariest in the game when they're combined, I would honestly say pink and purple. There are more difficult tanks in this game, but paired together because of how aggressive they are, they can be really tricky. So moving on now is the green tank in Mission 12. First in Mission 12. So I'm going to take some clever shots at the wall just to rebound and hit that one. They have 2 rebounds. They're the only tank that has that trait. So they will often use that to their advantage. They are deliberately going for shots that will hit you with 2 rebounds of their bullets. They only get 2 rocket bullets, but they are pretty lethal for that reason. So because of these mines, I actually know the tanks are going to treat that as like an invisible wall. They are not going to move anywhere. They are completely surrounded by the yellow tank mines there. Yellows will not be very clever with where they put their mines, so oftentimes they will just end up trapping in a lot of different tanks. So just going to be careful here. Green tank getting in with a couple of shots. There we go. Nice, good defense. And yeah, the green tanks don't move, but the pink tanks can actually move them around, which is quite funny. We managed to get that one there. That's absolutely fine. And then break that wall. You can break pink walls using mines. They're pretty much the only time we're going to be breaking walls or using mines at all. So as I said, purple tanks, here they are. We get, they have the same loadout as us actually. They get 5 bullets and 2 mines. But the problem with purple tanks is they're very sporadic. They are really hard to call out where they're going to shoot bullets to. Bonus lives as well. We get bonus life every 5 missions. So that is quite nice for medal runs because you end up with quite a lot of lives to work with. So you might have noticed something that I haven't really talked a lot about, and I am using something called a bullet spray. So because I get 5 bullets at once, I have an incentive to kind of shoot bullets at walls. Because if one of my bullets disappears from hitting 2 walls, that means I instantly get that bullet back again. So for instance, on that mission, I shoot at the wall because if I miss, then it will give me my bullets back very quickly for when I next encounter tanks. Good defense there. I played very risky on mission 17, so that is very good. Okay, are we going to hit impossible shot is the question. We have been very close. Not quite. So there's a shot which we have affectionately named impossible shot. It's not impossible. Well, apparently this is impossible. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. So impossible shot is a shot that hits the top left green tank from the middle of the field. It's a really, really good strat to go fast, cut a corner in a mission. Very, very tough one though. So the teal tank, quite difficult here. Purple actually being aggressive, which is quite rare here. Normally it likes to, I know they are usually aggressive, but because it's a massive pathway to walk down, they don't normally go that far. So the tank's actually not firing there. That is something where they don't want to friendly fire their own teammates. They will sometimes do that, but for the most part, if there's a tank directly in front of them, they're not going to do that because that would be silly. Talking of friendly fire, there we go. Just straight shot into the purple tank. Absolutely fine. That helps me out a lot. And really, really good mission here. We've cornered the purple tank. It's going to stay in place because it wants to hit me, but it cannot move while it's shooting, so it will not be able to escape. And the final mission here, we have white tanks which turn invisible. Hopefully we can get it. It does lay a mine. There we go. That's a 7-3x in a no reset. That's fantastic. There is a time where that would have been my PB. Now it's 622, which is very, very tough. Okay, so that is the gold medal, and we are going to play tanks again. Now, I'm going to try and get something called a frame perfect death. Two frames away there. Let's try one more time. Another 2 frames away. That's a shame. So, in tanks, if you die on the same frame as the last enemy tank, I'm going to actually go for the back wall here because it's slightly faster. Saves like 0.3 seconds. It's obviously not a huge thing, but it's a nice little time save. So if you hit a tank and you die on the same frame as the last enemy tank, you will die, so you lose a life, and you complete the mission. So what that allows you to do is you save losing a life, which we need to drain at the end of the game on mission 31. That saves 8.5 seconds, because every life takes 8.5 seconds to lose, roughly. So that is quite a big time save, because they can all add up. You can do this on multiple missions. There's a mission 3 setup, there's a mission 4 setup. A lot of the time, they are better to do on brown tanks because they are stationary, they're much easier to hit. They're much easier to have audio cues, visual cues to hit those. There is also one in the bronze medal run where you do final FPD or FFPD. And FFPD is where you do it on the last mission of the medal and the last life that you have. What that does is, say for example, bronze is mission 5, so I would need to do it on a teal tank, a moving tank with rocket bullets. And if I did that, it would save me 20 seconds, because it skips getting the bonus life. So it's a massive, massive time save. In bronze now, I would say it is all but required for... it is pretty much required if you want to go for a world record there. If you don't go for it, you need pretty much all the time save in everything else. So it's a scary strat. There we go. Teal's very good at dodging. Managed to sneaking a shot there, but yeah, they're very good at dodging those normally. Go. So lots of mines coming in. I should talk about the invisible walls a little bit more. So it's a little bit more nuanced than that. So if a enemy tank sees an enemy mine, they will always dodge it. They will see it as an invisible wall, and if they have any route of escape, they will use it. Some tanks will not see mines, interestingly enough. So yeah, there's a mine up there. You can barely see it, but there is a mine. So I knew that yellow tank would not go that way. So that is good. But yeah, so for example, grey tanks, teal tanks, even pink tanks don't see my mines. So if you're doing a run of a really silly category extension called Mines Only, they will not see the mines. They will just walk into them. It's a very, very tricky run, but it is the only reason that run is remotely possible. So we now get another bonus life here. And you might notice a little bit of a similarity so far. Now, these missions are so far the same, but we will be seeing different missions later on. Basically, after mission 20, the missions are randomized. So you get different layouts, different tank colors. There are thousands of permutations for every level from that point on. There are still some that are fixed. So, for example, mission 30 will always be the same. But there are randomized missions, which we'll see. Nice little rebound there, avoiding the rocket bullet that was going to go straight towards me. Enemy tanks don't try and defend themselves from bullets, you might notice. Otherwise, it would have very easily just hit a rocket bullet at that one. That would make the game a lot harder if they were able to see bullets coming towards them and dodge those. But no, it's very simple. They just fire at you. That is their only priority. They do not have any other goals in mind. Ooh, there's a mine there as well. So whenever a mine or a bullet is shot, there is a little bit of a cooldown for the tanks to move. Oh, that was a brilliant section there. 2 kills for that. So I'm just going to go for that. I was moving up there just in case the teal decided to retarget. If it retargeted there, it would have moved down, because they always try and move in the opposite direction to where they think you're going to go. Just going to take a couple of shots here. There we go. Moving the green all the way to the side. I actually would have been able to plant a mine on the opposite side of the wall to hit that one there if I really wanted to, which is quite funny. So the rebound here, as I mentioned earlier, just going to fire 4 bullets. Didn't quite hit, but that's fine. The moment I get to the middle here, I'm going to have all 5 bullets back. There we go. Nice mine laid by the enemy. That's a good shot there. Yeah, moving back up to 3 lives. Very nice. So again, another spray along this quite narrow path here. I have seen that rebound, so that is not going to get any more hits. Brilliant section there. That was flawless, and just leaving the green tank to the end. The green won't actually fire at me unless it thinks I am somewhat nearby in its line of fire. So it's not going to prepare any bullets early. Ooh, barely dodging that one. That's a risky old shot. Are we going to hit impossible shot? Oh, that is so close. Brushes the tank. Just barely not enough to hit that there. That is fine. Just going to lose a few seconds to that. It's no big deal at all. So that was a good spray on the purple there. Purple being very, very defensive. They pick and choose their battles very well, these high-grade tanks. And that was a moment of theirs where they did decide to do just that. Okay, invisible wall coming in there. I'm going to plant my own invisible wall, actually. And that is going to just completely corner all of the tanks. They're all going to stay in the same spot because they will not go anywhere near that mine. And it just makes them so much easier to dispatch in one go. All but one. Ooh, very sneaky. Managed to get out there, actually. But yeah, 5 tanks all in one section, planting a mine down. Even though it's on the other side of the wall, they will not go anywhere near it. Nice. And that is another sub 8 minutes for tanks 20. Very good. That is the benchmark. Most people set themselves sub 20 as a long-term goal. Okay, this is a little bit of a setup at the beginning. I actually want to fire bullets there because you know there's a tank that's going to be placed there. So the layouts are randomized, but you do know where the tanks will be. So even if this comes up on mission 21 where there are only 4 tanks, you know there will be a tank in that spot, which you can hit with a very precise rebound there. So how this works, as I said earlier, the missions are randomized from this point on. Mission 25 will be the same layout every time. It's a new layout we haven't seen. Mission 30 will also be the same. It's another one we haven't seen. But the tank colours on every mission except 30 are going to be different every time. Basically, every tank position has a specific pool of colours, and it will just randomly pick one out. So we're actually seeing the same mission here. Hitting the pink again. Great setup. Yeah, pinks are a little bit easier to call out where they're going to go. And that is just completely stuck there. There we go, nice. So we got the same mission here. It cannot come up 2 times in a row, so we know that it will not be the same here. Oh, we got the mission 11 layout, which is a little slow. But we like slow. Slow is safe. Slow is okay in this run. In this situation, we are okay with this. There is a slightly slower one. Mission 19 is the slowest layout because it's a little bit of a maze. Mission 19 is not too bad when there are 8 tanks on the field, but when there's only 4, they're all quite spread out. So Mission 25 is the C layout. That's what I call this one because it looks like a C. The yellow has just completely cornered itself. That will not move anywhere. That's just really funny. Basically, around the mine is just a slightly larger radius than the actual explosion radius, where the tanks will not go. And the yellow was actually set in panic mode the whole time there. It was in such a state of panic that it wasn't even able to shoot any more bullets. So when they're in panic mode, they only have one goal, and that's to escape. So browns and pinks will not have a panic mode because they do not see my mines. They do have a panic mode if you hit the, if they are surrounded by enemy mines, because every tank has a panic mode for that, but they do not have a panic mode for my mines. Oh, wow. Okay, nice rebound right at the end there. Obscured by the explosion of the bullet, which is so funny. Alright, a good spray should finish off that teal. It's got nowhere to run on that stage. So again, I'll just put a mine down here. We got 3 teals on this one, which is quite interesting. There are some permutations where that works, and some where it doesn't. You can't just get all brown tanks. There are some tank positions where they will always be something in the middle. So it's not going to be a great tank, but it's not going to be like all greens, for instance, at this stage. You can get some pretty unlucky ones, but you're never going to get the absolute worst. And then mission 30, quite a stacked mission here. 2 purples, 2 whites, and a green. And after this, we actually have a few lives to drain, which is a good sign we played quite well. But the time will come up when the medal banner appears. We just have 1 tank to go. Actually getting stuck in the corner. That's fine. We can pick it off. So 5 lives to drain here, and time will come up when the medal banner appears. So this is actually a really good mission to drain lives on. So we're very close to the wall here. You can't be on top of a wall, otherwise the bullets won't spawn. But you can be 1 tile away from a wall. So that is pretty much the best one here. Yeah, so I will give a warning when the medal banner appears. But it's been a fantastic run, if I'm honest. This is a 107, low 107, with a failed table tennis, which is quite incredible. That would be a 104 if that didn't happen. So I am very happy with that. And that is with over 4 minutes in billiards as well. Everything else brilliant in this run. Yeah, very, very low 107. So time is coming up in 3, 2, 1... time. 107.02. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty happy with that run. As you can see, I saved a lot of time actually in tanks. Gold was quite good. Played a little bit safe in the platinum because that can be better to do. Yeah, we lost 3.5 minutes. Best part of 3.5 minutes in tanks platinum. But yeah, up to that point was very good. Find Me was very good as well. And yeah, billiards, technically the start time for runs is when you press start over. So if you were to take off those few minutes that we spent in billiards restarting, then it would have been a 104 or a 103, which is very, very good. But that is all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay. I don't think I'll use that as a submission because I failed table tennis, frustratingly, because of the pattern. But it's a good submission. It's obviously not sub 105. I'm starting to lose hope of submitting a 105 estimate at this stage. I think a 108 might be more wise. I think 110 is too safe, but a 108 might be better. 107 just feels weird. 108, I think, makes sense. I'm just very frustrated that I can't get anything good once I start getting into the run, because I just did 10 platinums before the run and I got 31 minutes, sub 31 minutes. And then I do runs and it takes me, what, 11 to get 1 run of billiards? That's quite unlucky. Okay, platinum, 107.02. Alright, I'm gonna have a drink because I got a sore throat after that. Okay. I think Should I have a break in tanks? That's what I'm wondering. Do I have a tanks 100 break at this stage? Well, maybe I'll do a tanks co-op 20 break, because I was kind of struggling with that last time, and I don't really need a submission video for that one, so it could be a good one to have a break with. I don't know, potentially. It's either that or I do golds. I don't know. I could do golds because I'm already in the mood for medals, but I haven't decided. Let's have a look. Golds is only 42 minutes, so it's a little bit quicker. And realistically, it will be a bit faster than that as well. My average so far out of interest for Platinum is 107.50, but that is with a 110.45 in there. And in that run, I got gold by accident, and then I had to do Platinum at the end, which was really annoying. Okay, I actually did need to check the Platinum medal Find Me, because I was quite interested in whether that was a PB or not. I think it's very close. That's what made me think that run could be really good. Like, genuinely sub hour. Or like a mid 59 or even a low 59 if I had good everything else. But with me playing safe in tanks and stuff like that, it's just not likely. I'll have a look through the VOD really quickly. It was in Find Me. So, Find Me was... Okay, so the medal appears at 1334.3. 1334.3. Okay, it's a 1331. Yeah, I just got a PB in Find Me Platinum by 16 seconds. That is unbelievably good. That is unreal. 16-second Platinum PB. Wow. That gives me hope if I ever return to Plats. Because that was my biggest worry, that I would never be able to compete with my my Find Me. And clearly I can. Mainly because of Me Parade. But Me Parade is a strat. It's allowed. So, Find Me, Platinum Medal. I don't know, maybe Mura's had a better one. He's probably had a better one. Someone's probably had a better one than that. It's just that people don't really grind the ILs for medals. But I am fairly sure that is a PB. Unless I've added up wrong by 10 seconds or something. In which case it's a much smaller PB. But I think it's a PB. Yeah. It felt very good, in fairness. It felt really fast. So I can't say I'm too surprised. I think I'm going to take a very quick tanks co-op practice stint. And then we're going to do golds. And then we are going to do, with the new shooting range target strat, no less. And then we're going to do something else. I don't know. I'm not planning on going for ages today because it is a Sunday and I do want to actually enjoy my evening. Saturday streams are so much nicer because I can chill out knowing that the next day is also a day off work. But no, not that luxury today. But that's fine. I will just make sure I don't stream for an absurdly long time. And by that, I mean I'm probably going to end up ending at like 8 o'clock, let's be real. You know, that started up and I knew that was going to crash. Why does Ghetto do... Like, I just knew the way that booted up that was going to crash. I have no idea why it does, but it just seemed like it was going slowly, like it was going to crash. Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a quick tanks co-op. I'm not going to commentate over this. It's so difficult to commentate. Tanks co-op. Okay. I have added an entry for my PB. Let's go again. I've already reset my save so I can go straight into golds once I'm done with this. I'll do maybe one attempt at this, maybe more. So this is an incentive I'm planning. This is not a main submission. I'm not planning on doing a GDQ run that's 10 minutes. This is tanks co-op. So you can do 20 missions in the co-op game mode. And my goal is to be able to get 80% consistent at doing this. As long as I can do this 80% of the time or more, I would be happy submitting this as an incentive. I think that's my absolute flaw. Like, my absolute flaw is, you know, I would say about 50%, 60%. If I get lower than that, then I won't be submitting this as an incentive. I've completed this run so many times, and I've done it as an incentive on other marathons so many times. But for GDQ, if I can't get it that consistent, I will not be submitting it. So I will show at the start of every run my setup, just in case I use it as a submission. But I probably won't be, because I can just use one from a marathon as a submission for it, if I'm honest. Okay. Right, so I'm going to move it so it's player 1 and player 2 in order. Okay. Let's get started. We play Tanks Co-op 20. And I'll pull up the 9:59. I actually need to change that to say 10 minutes. Because it's now just going to say the estimate itself, which is 10 minutes. There we go. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Wait, hang on. I think that's... Oh, I think I did it wrong. Whoops. Whoopsie. Midi on a Sunday. Yeah, I had visitors yesterday. We had family. So I couldn't stream yesterday. Hope you're doing well, Catherine. I've just done a Platts run, which I failed table tennis in. I'm doing runs where I have to yap the entire time so I can use it as a submission for GDQ. But the problem with that is that it's very difficult to focus on table tennis. And everything. Okay. We're gonna chill for a run or two though. We're gonna do a Tanks Co-op run. And I will bring the chat back on screen, I think. Actually, no, just in case it's a submission, I'll keep it off screen. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. I'd love to say as such, but I'm okay. I'm glad to hear you're at least okay. I am not too bad. I had a work social on Friday, and then I was busy yesterday, so streaming today does... Oh, wow, that's a funny kill. The red one was still alive, so that counts. Yeah, so it's been quite a busy week. Quite a busy weekend. Now the work social was fun. It was a sim racing thing, which was quite nice. And then we went out for food after, which I only had to pay for one of the two things, so that was quite good. We'll let him off just this once. So for tanks co-op, I am using 2 remotes. I'm using rubber bands so I can freely move them. And my main goal here is just to not die with both controllers, because there are no lives in here. If I die with both, it is a game over. There are no lives to work with. Yeah, trying to manipulate where the tank is going. It will always go in the opposite direction to where I'm going. There we go, finally. That's what you blame for your current mood? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We'll hopefully get their act together. Welcome back, Jupi. So here, I'm actually going to keep one tank off as a reserve. So we don't have lives, per se. We are going to keep that as a reserve on the side, though. Nice. And I will say, if I submit this as an incentive, I will only submit this if I can clear this at least 80% of the time. No exceptions. It is a very tricky run, and sometimes you do just get screwed over. I also won't submit it if I have any early game overs at all. As long as we see most of this, I would be happy. Everything up to the point where the game gets really, really tricky to play as one player with 2 controllers. So another thing with this is that the tank placements are very slightly different as well. Oh no! That's why I should not talk during this. I should not be commentating this. I should just stream like normal. Oh, 11 is killing my runs. What are you doing? That's 2 runs in a row died to 11. Right, I'm going to stop commentating, because that does not work in this. If this gets into a marathon, there will be other people commentating. Stop commentating. Just play the game. Alright. That's the problem. Me commentates too much. I should not do that. I will explain, though, the 2 controllers I'm using. So I am using 2 controllers, which are strapped together with rubber bands because I can freely move them. And that is all. 20 missions, no lives. Just make it through. There's some optimizations like this mission. But other than that, I'm just trying to survive here. Also, hey sheep, how's it going? Doing good? Hope you're doing good too. I'm not too bad. I just did a Platts run that was all low 107. I did not beat my estimate of 105, but I got close. I might end up increasing the estimate to a 108 if I'm honest. I think a 105 might be too bold. I did do a run at the beginning of the stream which was getting Billiards Platinum 10 times. And I did that in sub 31 minutes. So that gives me just over 3 minutes per Platinum in a run on average. Which is really not bad at all. But yeah, the game's just being mean. so I'm very lucky to be alive there. But I am alive, that's the key. Yeah, we're not doing anything serious right now. It's not a PB attempt, it's just me getting some practice in of tanks co-op. I could honestly do a lot of this offline. I just need a bit of a break before I get back into a golds run. Oh, hello. That is a mine. I did not see that. Was that a friendly fire as well from the teal? Possibly. That's sick. That's a kill, definitely. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, I want to submit this as an incentive for GDQ. I don't think incentives increase your chances of getting in, but it would be nice to have this as an incentive. But it would be foolish to submit this if I couldn't beat it consistently enough. That said, when I'm actually on marathons, I generally play quite safe. I know I can't PB anyway, because I've pushed my PB so far now. My PB now is a 6:41. That's only 19 seconds longer than my solo world record. And technically you can go faster in here than in regular tanks co-op. It's just that it's a lot harder to when you're playing with both controllers at the same time. Understandably. Some missions do go by really quickly. Not this one, though. No. No! Oh my goodness. Where's that going? Right, come on. Kill you. Okay. Oh, come on. Rebound. Yes! Good. I don't care how long it takes. As long as it's in a reasonable amount of time. Sub 12 is realistically okay. Because it is an incentive. Okay, 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 okay. Fine. We lived. Yeah, just going to scout out there, even though I didn't think there was a mine, because I couldn't see any tracks. I might just do a golds run and then end, I'm going to be honest. That might be what I do today. Because the time is already getting quite late. That's a death. Please hit. Oh no. Are you serious? Really? What is wrong with me in this? Seriously? Instant death? I've done this on marathons so many times. Why is this a problem now? That's 4 runs and 0 completions. I haven't even got one to 15 yet. That is not good. Actually, no, I got the first one to 17, and then a DNF on 11, another DNF on 11, and a DNF on 14. That's not okay. No way I submit this if I keep that up. I would say the start is quite nice to practice, but to be honest, it can even go wrong on mission 4. If I don't hit all the tanks that I was planning on, and then I die with the one I'm focused on. Because I'm only focused on keeping one alive. So, as soon as that one's gone, if I get unlucky, then that's just it. Cool. I should really play defensively with that top tank and just go down with the other one. fine. Cool. That's another one where I think I should just go down to 1 life there and play it normally. The tricky thing with tanks co-op is that every mission, you have a 50-50 coin flip of which tank will spawn on which side. Like, it's not always going to be the blue tank spawns in this spot and the red one spawns in this one. It's a 50-50 coin flip of where they spawn. So it can be a tough one just for that. That's a skip split. Yeah, see, that's really nice. Cool. That'll do. So the rubber bands do allow me to just sort of freely move these into their own positions. No. You'll peek out. That's not a good rebound. Okay, I'm just going to play defensively with this tank. You stay there. And then I have a bonus life. That is what I should be doing. It is a no reset. Just play it a lot safer. Just do that. Not only that, but if that other tank stays alive, yeah, the pink tank was just targeting the wrong one. They do that sometimes in co-op. Oh, I've done it again where I miss out one wall. Cool. That's a shame. No, no, no. That's coming towards me. Okay. God, this mission is mean. Please stay down. Okay, that'll do. 13's a tricky one. Right, can I please just keep one tank alive, or both tanks alive for longer than 5 seconds? Please. Right, move them all to there. I think that hits the green one. Yep. Cool. Bad rebound. Oh no! Oh my goodness. Okay, I just lost that. Yeah, fine. I can hit that green, I think. Oh, that's a shame. Didn't quite get it. That's alright, it's just a normal green placement at that stage. Cool, well dealt with. This is a one-on-one brawl with 2 tanks at once. Nice. There are a couple of these missions in here and it starts at 15. As long as I can get to 15... I'm happy with a run. It's obviously not a clear. But 15 is literally a one-on-one brawl with 2 tanks at once. And then you get another one at 16. Like, it's obviously difficult. Yep. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Go away. Go away. Alright, sure. I think that works. Yeah, that'll do. Fine. Really puzzled for which one to use there, but that worked well. Okay, 2 one-on-one brawls. Just set up nicely and then get the win. There we go. Nice. Both lived. All I need to do is just get used to how I need to move the controllers on this one. It's not a hard one-on-one brawl. Because the moment it's done, it's just a regular mission. Especially if I keep the bottom one alive, because that's the one I'm used to using. I'm not used to playing from the top, where that red one is. I'm used to playing from the bottom. So I need to keep the bottom one alive, but... You can move them into good positions to do that. Good defense, that's nice. Okay, that one will live now. Assuming the purple doesn't one-on-one it. Nice. That's a hit on the green. Nice. Good. 2 to go. Another one-on-one. I actually haven't realised how many one-on-ones there are. Okay, okay, okay. This is making me realise just how much of a gauntlet the end of this run is. So brutal. I am not even going to mess around with that. You can just come to me. Or not. That's fine. Oh, wow. It doesn't hit. Yeah. Good safety. And then we got 2 minutes. Yeah, I need to play slower. We got 2 minutes for this. Oh, no. Right, just fire everything. Fire everything. Okay. $7.59. $7.58, actually. Okay, good. Finally got one on the board. 1 out of 4. No, 1 out of 5. We need 80%. That's 20%. That's not good. Not at all. We got a long mountain to climb to make that up. But that is at least the first clear during this grind. I know I can do better than 20%. That's just very unlucky. I've done runs of co-op for years. Thanks for the GG. Okay, back to medals. I'm gonna do golds now. Before I get there, though, I think I'm gonna practice the 2-controller strat in gold medal. Individual medal, and if I check the leaderboard, category extensions, shooting range gold, I did in 2 minutes 17. That's my PB. So I'm going to do a quick run of this, just to prove that you can do 1 target cycle. So what I'm going to go for here is the fast strat in every level, in every wave of targets, except level 2, wave 3, where I'm going to go for points. That means I can do the fast targets on wave 1 in level 2. And that will save me a lot of time. I've never done it in golds before, so in theory I could save a lot of time when I get back to pushing for sub 36. I'm talking like 5 seconds. It's genuinely so good. I shaved 5 seconds off my world record. I went straight down from 222 to 217 with this. It was really, really nice. No, 220... Yeah, 222, I think it was, to 217. In the space of 2 runs. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Good cycle. Okay, we're going to go for fast ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey NT, how's it going? I think my batteries are a bit low. That was really jolty for no reason. Okay, now I need to go for points here. Because this is 450 I need for gold. Good. I actually lost time, I think, in my gold medal to that. We've already got the points, though. That's really good. Right, that doesn't save time. We actually got more than enough points. Because we got birds here as well if we needed them. Oh, lost 0.6. Yeah, we got SM MIDI Sunday. For one day only. Again. Until the next time I stream on a Sunday. Probably not for a while. Don't know. That is a gold medal. Is that a PB? Am I going to have more work to upload runs to the leaderboard? No, I'm not. That's not. There's nowhere near. It's like a 219. But it did save time. I'm not going to collect the medal because it would mean I have to reset my save. Might have a terrible idea for a speedrun, but it would require me learning a new game and finding very good commentators. So let's just say it will remain an idea for now. Okay. What game is it out of interest? Or would that spoil it? Or can I at least have a genre? Or is it Yuri? We counting that as a genre? It sounds like a silly idea. So maybe it's not one that you're focused on. Alright, let's get to Billiards again. It's not Yuri, unfortunately. What? Jupi running not Yuri? Yeah, also it would be spoilers. Okay, don't tell me then. Keep it a surprise. Keep your secrets. 42 minutes. Oh, hello. I hit the microphone pop filter. My bad. Sorry. Okay. Time for runs. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, this is... We play gold medals. We're getting all the gold medals in this run. And the goal of this is... we're going to start with Billiards and then we're going to go in order. Billiards has a little bit of RNG. We should be fine for the gold medal. We need to do this in 10 combined shots and fouls. The 2 ball was in a bit of a bad spot there, so I'm going to take a foul, hit the 6 ball. The good thing is, in regular pool, the other player would get to play if you take a foul. We don't care here because we're playing on our own. So we are just going to go for a hit there. Oh, it didn't quite work out. I do want to get this first try. Good luck stands for gold. Thank you for the gold. Oh, you could tell me in DMs. Okay, well, if you want, you could just keep it a secret. It's up to you. I don't care. Why is this being jolty, though? Sense bar's still being very weird. I think it's because I'm too close. It does this sometimes. I'm not going to do a MIDI and not keep a secret after saying I have a secret thing. Yeah, I do that, don't I? I do that. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, this is gold medals. This is similar to all the other runs, except we are going to have the gold medals to go for. We get a 4 break to start, which is fantastic. We only need to do this in 10 combined shots plus fouls. So 4 break, 4 balls in on the first shot. Fantastic start. It does give me a bit of leeway to try some different things. I'm going to do a jump shot because that is a thing you can do in the game. You can jump a ball off the table, and because the game is in 1 player mode, it just doesn't care, and you get to keep on playing. And we're going to do the same here. And hopefully I can do a double jump shot, jump 2 balls off the table, and that is the end of Billiards. That was fantastic there. 54 points. We had a shot to spare. 51 we needed for the gold medal. And that is a fantastic start to the run. We have a bit of leniency in Billiards just in case the RNG isn't too nice to us. But 10 shots plus fouls means even if you don't get any in at the start, you should be able to do it. Next now, though, is shooting range. We're going to play in order from now on, and this is going to require us to get 450 points. You might notice I'm using 2 controllers. So you can actually use 2 controllers in one player mode specifically in shooting range. We have no idea why. It's a thing they allowed. Now I'm going to go for some very precise timings. I'm going to time it and I'll explain it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every that wave, there is a timer of 9.3 seconds, and once that timer is up, here I'm just going to play because I need a lot of points. I need 450. So this wave is very good for racking up points. It's just that so is wave 1 in level 2, but I like saving time, so I'm not going to do that. It saves a couple of seconds to skip wave 1. Basically, all the targets disappear after 9.5 seconds. That is fine. That one doesn't make a difference. So, after 9.5 seconds, or 9.3 specifically, but 9.5 to be safe, all of the targets will stop spawning. You can get as many targets as you like. The more you hit, the more you get. You get loads of points. But if they all disappear just after 9.3 seconds, that is the most optimal thing to do. So rather than letting all the targets disappear on their own, we are actually going to hit them. And that saves a couple of seconds there. So here we need a few more points. We have birds to hit, which will help us. Now, if I hit these cans that spawn in the foreground, we'll save a little bit of time. It's 6 frames for the first one and 0.6 seconds for this second one. Fantastic. There we go. We got it. We did hit the tail end of the other one there, funnily enough. But that is fine. We're on 448. We are not in danger, though, because there are 2 very slow UFOs we want to hit, even to be optimal. So we are done with the gold medal. And that is the end of shooting range. Moving on now to Find Me. Find Me is a bit of a longer game. It's a nice one for chat interaction and participation. It is a Where's Waldo kind of game. And much of this run, the strats are slightly different across the runs. And I was actually a true gold there as well, somewhat. I've changed my split order a little bit, so it's not quite 2-second gold. But that time save there is real. It's a very, very new one I'm starting to implement. But it is not risky because the UFO cycle has like 200 points available. So we now need 60 levels here. The strats are very slightly different between the medal runs in here. There are 6 main medal categories. There's bronze medals, silver medals, gold medals, platinum medals, and all games, which is just NG from a new file, so you play them in order, and NG+, so you can start with billiards and do all the rest of the games. We don't really care too much about all games, but I do a lot of medal runs, and medal runs are very fun. The strats are very slightly different between runs. For example, Find Me right at the end, there's going to be a very precise time save that I won't be going for because it's risky and it would cost the run if I went for it. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to play the game. So here the goal is 60 levels, and as you can see I have a lot of interesting looking Miis on my system. I just had a answer where the correct Me was the peace symbol, and there I actually spotted the blue beanie before it disappeared. I couldn't select the right answer, so I had to wait until the wraparound to select it there. There we go, nice. So why do I have Miis like the basketball Me? Why do I have Garfield Me? Why do I have Mike Wazowski? Well, it's just for Find Me. That's the whole reason. I only have these Miis for Find Me. And that is a really, really useful strat that I find in this game. So another thing to mention here, this is an escalator level. You get little different backdrops and settings and things for levels. Every level, every escalator level, there will always be maximum 1 correct answer on an escalator. So the first thing I'll do is search through the escalator with the fewest Miis, because they have higher chance of being correct. So one thing with Find Me that they did kind of have a little bit of foresight with is these Miis have the same weights and heights, because otherwise that would make Miis stand out a lot more. If you had a really short Mii, it might be harder to select them. And it means that every Mii can have a uniform hitbox, for the most part. We'll get there. There's a lot of strats to talk about. We'll get there. They also have a nice pastel colour shirt, rather than the favourite colour that you set them in the Mii channel. But if you have a cap or a beanie on a Mii, then they will retain that colour. So for example, that is a black beanie. So you can use those to your advantage, and it helps a lot to find Miis just like that. 3 light blue beanies there, very easy to find. There are 12 colours to work with, and... whoops, that is not correct. There we go, I saw that Mii before it disappeared, that's good. There are 12 colours to work with and 2 different beanies, so it is pretty useful to use those. Now, the other thing I have is hitbox strat, and we will probably see more of it soon, but basically, levels that are zoomed out, or levels with Miis that are crowded, the correct Miis have much larger hitboxes than incorrect Miis. So I can use that to figure out what the answer is without necessarily knowing the answer. That's why a lot of the time my cursor will be at the top of the screen, so I can see what's going on up there. Because the hitbox is much, much larger at the top. So we're coming up to a stairs level, so you can very easily see I will just seek out in a straight line, and even though those 2 Miis were close together there, so the hitbox is kind of blended, it still makes it kind of obvious what the correct answer is. So every level will always be the same. You have 3 odd Miis out here, so some of them look left, some of them look right. Just getting in a couple of incorrects there, because I didn't quite see what the answer was. Taking a bit of a guess. That is fine. So 3 lookalikes, that means there will be 1 on every escalator, so we'll just check an escalator, and if you don't know, like if you didn't think it was any of them, check again, because it will be one of them. And they all got slightly different speeds as well. That middle one is slightly faster. But why is that one faster? Maybe they got somewhere to be, I don't know. So I have pick a favourite. You can pick any Mii there. They will all be randomised. None of them will be from your Mii channel. Nice. Hitbox strat coming in there. So some Miis step left and some Miis step right on level 35 and 36. But if you can spot the hitbox strat, then you don't actually need to work out who it is. There you go. Just a bit of brute force there. If I don't get it straight away, that's fine. And then find your favourite. There we go. So it's good to select a Mii you can find easily on those levels. So again, only a couple of Miis on some of these escalators, so I will be checking those first and foremost. There we go. And it's the Mona Lisa. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? So at this point, I don't have a lot more else to explain in Find Me. So messages and donations are good at this time. The levels do get harder though, so I will be focused a little bit. But 60 levels shouldn't be too much of a problem, although the game does give us some more dark levels with a spotlight at this stage of the game. Okay, fastest Mii actually kind of got stuck between a Mii there, so you can kind of easily tell who it is. There we go. So, some other very slight differences. So I'm playing on the NTSC USA version of the game. That's because of the glitch in shooting range, where I was able to hit purple targets with the second controller, which makes me gain points. That's the whole reason I could do that fast cycle there. But if I was on a 1.0 version of the game, which I am, in Find Me it actually makes the game harder. So you're trading time save in some load times and shooting range. You're trading that for making Find Me harder. Because some of these levels, and I'm talking 15 or so random levels, seemingly random levels, with lots of me's, they will actually have slightly fewer me's on 1.1 versions. So if you want to do Find Me ILs, you actually want to find a 1.1 version of the game. That does mean we're playing on hard mode for Find Me, though. And the other thing I should mention with Find Me is the 80% rule. It's a very recent discovery in terms of exactly how it works. Basically, the game will pull from your Me Parade, your Me Plaza, and your... There we go. Yeah, your Me Plaza, which is the normal section, the Me Parade, which is a feature on Wii by default, and it will also pull from the console RAM and also random Me data if the game wants to do that. So up to 50% of the Miis will be from the Plaza, and up to 30% will be from the Parade. That means around 80% of the Miis on these levels that have lots of them there, around 80% will be from the Plaza and the Parade, which is very, very good, because it means we get more of those Miis that are easy to find. They have beanies, they have caps, they look silly. They are the ones we want to be seeing more of, obviously, because it helps us a lot to find the answers. There we go, nice find there. 120 seconds is the cap on the timer as well. We will need to drain our timer at the end. And not quite. That is not the right answer. There we go. So again, hitbox strat at the top, because the camera is further away. It's much more effective. And I'm now just going to drain my timer. So we now need to select multiple wrong answers. I will alternate Mii's because there is a slight cooldown to select the same one again. Now, there is a slightly faster way of doing this, and that is to drain your timer on level 57. Because you can select 3 Mii's at a time to drain the timer essentially 3 times as fast. There we go. So, pretty good Find Me there. Thank you for the follow as well. Hey Paige, how's it going? Currently doing some mission videos, marathons, and we're on table tennis now. This is 100 points we need. I'm playing very close to the net, flying a little bit close to the sun. That's because it saves a few frames every shot. That's not a lot, but a few frames every shot, over 100 shots, it's quite a lot. A few frames becomes a few seconds. So we need to let the ball bounce at least once. So we're doing that, and then the ball will slowly speed up. Starts to build up a bit of a rally. I will move very slightly back. And the estimate does accommodate a fail or two in games like this. You can't sit too far back though, because otherwise the ball won't actually reach the net. So finding a balance in this game is the best thing to do. I'm doing pretty good. I am not too bad. We've just done a Platts run. I'm now doing golds with a new strat. I just saved time with a new strat in shooting range, which is quite nice. There's not a lot of time saved there, so it's always good to find something new. So next is Pose Me. And here we need 800 points. So I will be trying to get as many as I can here. Every level has an invisible timer of 30 seconds. So there's a specific pattern that we'll find in each level. So here it will be just one pose. Later on we'll see more than one at once. But as long as I get my 800, we will be absolutely fine. So as I said, invisible timer every 30 seconds. Once the level starts, you have 30 seconds and the bubbles will stop spawning. That means you can't end levels early, but you can get more points per level. That means you can finish the medals early, specifically. So here I'm actually going to go for a strat called Pose Meaty. I am going to go for the 24 bubble pattern at the beginning and then lose a life. It will reset the pattern to the easy one. And this is actually a more effective way of draining our lives. I'm going to go for this 2 times. Nice, that's good. And we'll see how many more we can get. We won't get too many here. So we actually lose 10 points on the perfect bonus by doing that, but that is okay. Because it's still minimum going to save us a few seconds. About 3, worst case scenario. Because we have to lose our lives at the end at some point, and it just turns out that that is the best and most efficient way of losing our lives. So once the bubbles speed up here, we are always going to get 3 angles. Slight left, slight right, or middle. So this is quite a nice level to rack up points on. If the bubbles get close to the bottom, we'll actually get rainbow bubbles. Where basically the game will pause for up to 10 seconds. It will end the 10 seconds early if all the bubbles disappear. That's fine. So there are a couple of levels where we're pretty much guaranteed to get a rainbow bubble, so it's just about minimizing how much time loss we get from those. And hoping we get quite a high spawn, based on the strats that I use. So here we're only going to get maximum 2 of the same bubble, and then it will change poses. Sometimes it will stay on the same one for 2, sometimes it will switch instantly. But if it does stay on the same one, we know what the next one will be, and that will be a swap to the other pose. Later on, we're going to see all 3 poses coming out in the same level. As you can see, the bubbles spawn quite low here, so it is a bit scary. But it's all good, they move slowly. Pose me is not a problem. We are used to the patterns here. Now, the patterns refer to which poses you're expecting. There can still be a bit of variance in where they spawn, so it is not an easy game. There's still a lot of reaction time stuff coming in here, very similar to table tennis, but a lot more time save potential in this one. And I'm using the pointer for all these minigames. Some of them do use the motion, so Billiards uses motion, Charge later on uses motion, and Fishing. And yeah, we do have the duck. Everyone has a favourite here. We do like to ask what the favourite stock image is. That's my favourite question about this game when we're here. No idea why they included stock images in the background. I think maybe it's to add to the vibe of the bubbles falling and stuff. I don't know. So we're actually getting a rainbow there. That is fine. Game decided that I was getting a little too close to the bottom, apparently. Okay, so here we're just going to get a single bubble, and then the game is going to spawn in a ton of them. Nice, very quick rainbow there, fantastic. Really good. Right, not too bad there either. Okay, and then the next level is an upside down level. Very similar pattern to the one we've seen earlier. But we have to play upside down this time. Which kind of makes it difficult to identify which pose you're looking out for. And then we're hoping in the next level I will be able to end before the end of the level. So hopefully we have enough points going in. 722. Okay, we're going to need 33. That's quite a few. We should be okay. So there is a very specific pattern here of the same poses every time. Very easy one to rack up points. There we go. There's our 800, and that is a loss in the level. That is absolutely fine. The Firefly jump scare. We do love Pose Me for that. Okay, next up is laser hockey. So we need 10 points here to make it through. So what we can do is we can actually cheese this a little bit. I can use the side of the paddle to make it go slightly faster. So every time I hit this ball, it is just going to go a tiny little bit faster. Gold is not the freest medal in the game for laser hockey. It's 10 points here, and the CPU will speed up over time, so we're not going to be able to cheese it for all of this. Squeezing it through there with a nice rebound. Yeah, you get a bit more speed by using the side of the paddle. So by doing this, we will make it through. Oh yeah, the dragonfly, yeah. That is 8 points. And as you can see, this game does not have an invisible timer. It has a visible timer. You can see yourself pausing the timer whenever you score. It's not the end of the world if we concede a goal here. It's just a few seconds time loss. And we will use the back of the paddle to stop the ball, and that is the end of the level. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is actually a very good pace. So I will wait here. We haven't yet played tanks, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions yet. But this is sub 36 pace, which is quite unbelievable. Considering I am commentating the whole thing, I don't expect it to sub 36 because my gold medal tanks is incredibly good in my PB. But I will take this opportunity to talk about score skip. So, yeah, and I'll put on the Mario cap. So, score skip is a thing we have using the save file. And what that means is when you first create a save file, for some reason in this game, you don't get medals. They fixed this in the sequel, Wii Play Motion, but in Wii Play, you don't get medals. So you can hoard a bunch of high scores on your save file, basically. And when we come to finishing this game, we are not going to get the high score animation because all my high scores are higher than 10. So by tying or worse with 5th place on the leaderboard, we will skip the high score animation. It's 3.1 seconds. That means 9 games. We saved 28 seconds in a full run. It's pretty much required for any world record in this game now. And as you can see, we just jumped straight to the medal. So it's a really, really good time save. Okay, moving on now, we have fishing. So this one is 2,300 points, which is only a few hundred off platinum. It's actually quite a difficult goal. I will be going first for this touchy fish, baiting around the small fry. That was fantastic. Made the touchy fish go around the small fry there. Small fry only take a single bite and they make you lose 50 points, so you do want them to be out of the pond ASAP. I'm hoping here, yeah, we get another small fry. There's a chance we get a touchy fish. These other fish don't give us as many points, so we want to get more of those. So a touchy fish will zip around the pond. It does about a lap and a half. We're lucky there. We got a 50-50 coin flip. Correct side of that. Getting a touchy fish bonus again. And again, we're moving off the touchy bonus, which is a shame. If I need, I will take some of these yellow fish. They won't give us as many points. Okay, so that should move to the top here. We're hoping we get a touchy fish bonus. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wow, okay, that's mean. I'm just going to have to catch that fish, I think. This is really tricky now. Yeah. This is a shame. Okay. Okay, so now we have the king. I don't really know exactly what triggers the zipping with the touchy fish, but yeah, they tend to just do that if you're too close to them. Go for that one again. There's a mystery fish there. Mystery fish spawn at random. That will give us a lot of points though, 240. We have 110 left to get. That's 120. That will be 10 fish. It's a pretty long gold medal, but it is our gold medal. And that is fine. 23-10. We got a bit unlucky there. We had two massive touchy fish to work with. It's just the other fish kept interfering. Working the whole way through that game, trying to weave around the other fish there. Moving on now to charge. So charge is a very quick one. 300 points for the gold medal. There is actually a corner we're going to cut right at the end of the game. So there are a total of 300 scarecrow points. But you can miss scarecrows because every second you have on the timer will give you 1 bonus point. So at the very end of the game, I will cut 1 corner, which will give me enough points. And that only saves a few seconds, but when you're coming down to these tiny optimizations in this game, that is what you need. So this is not the corner we'll cut. We will be getting these points. There is even a drift going on there. Shout out to the Charge IL community. They work so hard for a game that is 60 seconds long. And we just won't care too much about that one. That's fine. We didn't cut the corner in the end. We're playing a little safe. Really, the time-saving charge just comes down to millimeters. And that is absolutely fine. We actually managed to get platinum, and it is fine getting platinum. Gold medal speedruns require gold or higher, so platinum is fine. And even though we didn't cut the corner, it's still not too bad. Moving on now to tanks. Tanks is our final game in the run, and we are going to be going for 20 missions. So I actually will go for a back strategy here. That saves a fraction of a second, about 0.3, compared to going forwards. So every mission will be the same experience every time, but because of the tank RNG of their behaviors and where they shoot bullets and where they're going to go, you get a different experience every time, even though the missions are the same. So brown tanks, they do not fire very often. They don't move. Grey tanks do move, and they are defensive, so they are our kryptonite as speedrunners. We also have teal tanks, which are coming up, which have rocket bullets, but we'll get there when we get there. And there are some tanks we won't see, because this is not a full playthrough. Nice rebound onto that grey there. That could have cost us a bit of time. So here I am going to go for a couple of rebounds. Hopefully it hits the teal. Remember, they shoot rocket bullets here, so we do want to be a little safe. Nice. Good. And we also get bonus lives as well. So there is a strategy called FPD. It's why I'm a personal big fan of the Platinum medals run. Because in Plats, you actually do want to get frame perfect deaths. Basically, it means you die on the same frame as the last enemy tank, and it means you save 8.5 seconds. Golds, that doesn't apply, because you instantly end the game at 20 missions anyway, so there's no reason to lose lives here. That's a shame. So we lose 8.5 seconds for that. That was a bit risky. I didn't really want to sit there waiting a few seconds. So it takes 8.5 seconds to respawn. That's okay. And we have another new challenger coming up, the yellow tank. So we get 5 bullets and 2 mines, and they get 4 mines and 1 bullet. So they are very mine heavy. And we will get there very soon about why that affects pretty much everything else going on in these missions. We can actually use their mines to our advantage. So they will line mines a lot, and because of that, every enemy mine will treat that as if it's an invisible wall. Basically, they do not want to get hit to mines, because they don't want to give you hits for free. Nice dodge. Ooh, that was scary there. The grey tank decided to be nice and not shoot me in the face. That is all good. And now, pink tanks, they have 3 bullets, but they do fire quite quickly, so we need to outmash them. Nice, good call out of the pink going right there. They do retarget a little bit, but I figured it would go that direction. And next here, I will lay a mine to break these pink walls. The brown ones are indestructible, but the pink ones we can break. Okay, that is not quite going to hit. That is fine. We're going to get some of these bullets back over time. There we go. So we get 5 bullets, and because I shot bullets all the way down that corridor, I didn't get them back very quickly. That's why on a lot of these missions, I'll be going for spray shots, so that I get them back quite soon. Based on my I have a very meticulous strategy for every mission. Even if things go awry, you can kind of recover a little bit. As we saw there, we have green tanks. They have 2 ricochets. They're the only ones in the game. I get 1 ricochet for my bullets. They get 2. So we do have to be very careful with those. As we can see, invisible walls coming out. The teal going absolutely nowhere near that. And a very RNG heavy mission there for tiny optimizations, but we did get through very quickly. Next is mission 14. So this is going to be a little slow. That pink tank not playing ball here. Oh, that's unfortunate. That hit the wall. That's a real shame. Pink almost always goes down here, so that's a real shame that happened. That's okay. We'll have to recover it. That's just so unlucky. That is very unlucky. I think that ruins the PB pace, but that is okay. Next is mission 15. So we have purple tanks. These will actually often go down. Did not quite go that way. That's my setup at the beginning. I shoot at the wall. The good thing with that, though, is that if it doesn't work out, I get my bullets back straight away. That's the reason that strat works so well. And we get our bonus lives, so we're in a very good position right now. Anyway, we have 5 missions to go. Just going to defend that. There we go. Nice quick way of hitting that green tank. That's another death. That's a shame. Okay, didn't get a lot of progress going on there. That's okay. Purple tank doesn't often go left, though, and that's an invisible wall placed down with that mine. The green, purple working out a way of going around it, but it did still get a little stuck. Nice, good rebounds. And the spray shot just works very well to just trap in tanks a lot of the time. Here we have all 6 green tanks. Gonna be a very tricky mission here. I'm gonna go for something called Impossible Shot. Now what this is a very precise angle, didn't quite get it, from the middle that hits the top left tank. Very, very tricky setup there. And then we have mission 18. I'm going to go for some rebounds on this wall. Get both tanks there. Fantastic. Go for this green. Nice. Good hits there. And then we have 19. which is 8 tanks, which is so mean because the game actually only throws 8 tanks at you on a regular basis, all the way in mission 90 in the full game. So this is a really, really early challenge the game throws at you. Very nice dodge there. They're not going anywhere near that mine. As you can see, they treat it as an invisible wall. I'm going to lay my own invisible wall down. I got hit there, unfortunately. Couldn't defend that bullet. That is fine. So, we're still in a good spot. I will take this shortcut still. And we'll just pick off the tanks one by one at this stage. So the purple likely to go down. If it went the other way, I would have laid a mine, and it would have been guaranteed to go right there, though. And then the final mission here, the time is coming up when the medal banner appears. I will give a countdown for it. White tanks, they are invisible, but you can see their tracks, and we took them out very easily there. That's a sub 740, no, 740 even, tanks 20. And we are coming up on time with a 36-minute. Time's coming up in 3, 2, 1, time. 36:54, I think that is, with a retime, which is unbelievably good. That is 38 seconds off world record. That was world record pace going into tanks. Unbelievable. Tanks is very tricky because the RNG makes a huge difference. I died a few times in there. But in terms of a run that is going for a 42-minute estimate, I am very happy with that. And the Billiards was nice as well. Like, it gives us a little bit of leniency. That's why I've got some leniency in Billiards, because not all the time are you going to get that lucky there. You might need to play an extra game to get that gold medal. But if I'm honest, everything except the platinum medal. Platinum medal is tricky. It's very tricky. The others are really, really nice, and it allows us to go for some shots where we're allowed a few more fouls, and that's why I went for that double jump shot, stuff like that, where you get 2 balls off the table. So many things you can do in this game that you wouldn't think of on the surface. That is it. I will be submitting other categories. Personally, I'm a big fan of plats, platinum medals, but golds is really nice as well. It's very well rounded. You get to play every game once to a decent extent. So, it's a good category. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. What the hell was that? What was that? Right, now I'm done. Let's have a look at this. What is this? Are we for real? This is against PB. Like, I know tanks is at the end because it's a marathon submission, but what was that? Like, I played risky in fishing because I knew I could world record. I went for a normal laser hockey because I knew I could world record. Like, I was planning on doing a score run in laser hockey because it's not that interesting. But I guess not. Because I wanted to have the world record pace. I mean, it just shows how optimized my tanks is. Because, yeah, a 740 is very good. It unfortunately is not enough for a world record. But that is just unbelievable. That's a sub 37, fully commentated. Like, what do I even say about that? What do I even say? I think it's a Find Me gold PB as well. I wouldn't even be surprised. I was saying in that run that the shooting range wasn't an accurate gold. It is an accurate gold. It's a 2-second gold. 1.6 second gold. It's legit. No, 2.4 seconds. I'm going the wrong way. 2.4 seconds. It's accurate. Laser hockey is inaccurate because that is the one that used to be last. But it's just, that's baffling. How unlucky I've been in plats today, and then I know obviously I have fouls that I can work with in this, but to go from how unlucky plats has been to this, it's just unbelievable. Okay, I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to end the stream there. I've been live 3.5 hours, that's more than I was planning today. Yeah, very, very solid run to end it on. I will take a screenshot from here, I think. yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about that run. That was unbelievable. Fishing, I played so risky though. I was quite frustrated with fishing. Obviously, tanks was the main thing that killed it. Like, there's no good fishing would have saved that. But to get the touchy fish bonuses, and they were big touchy fish as well, so it would have given me like 190, 200 points for those. Like, I don't know. It's... I was convinced I wasn't going to get that gold medal because I had like 1,000 points. That was so scary. And I played it 7th out of 9 games. But that's a solid submission. That's my best one yet. It's a really, really good one. I wish I didn't mention the pace in tanks. But it's still really good. Okay. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm going to raid someone. And I'm also going to post about this pace in the Discord, I think, in the Wii series, because that's unbelievable. Right, let's raid. Who's doing Wii series? We have Wii Play, we have Wii Party, Wii Sports, Resort. Who's doing all these? I don't know. Oh yes, I do need to make a no fish command. I will raid. Sure, we can raid Shark Bite. Go on then. Although is Shark Bite on no mic? Yeah, Shark Bite's on no mic. I will instead raid then. Let's... I have a few options. Okay, I don't have anyone else in mind actually, so we will go raid Shark Bite. Shark Bite is doing Wii Sports. Shark Bite's been running Wii Sports lately. Yeah, we'll say hello over there. So, thank you for watching. Next stream will probably be tomorrow, actually, because tomorrow is Monday. And I think I'm done with golds. So this is my first run of golds, and we get a, frankly, ridiculous time. Sub 37 is absurd. So I will put this to bed. I will do golds practice if I need to, but that is pretty much all that I feel I need to do on golds for the submission. I will do more golds, no doubt, but yeah, thank you for the good luck with it as well. So I will probably do tanks tomorrow, tanks 100. I need to run that back. I need to get a completion. I need to get a good completion. One that is within the estimate but plays safe. Please play more safe. That's what I need to do. That's my message to myself. Yeah, that's it though. I will also be doing New Super Mario Bros. DS, so I need to do some learning of that, and maybe I'll go off and do some of that after this stream. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!